show who you are. Good written, is you kidding? Bid the forbidden, as it was written. You overbidding with the heathens. Karma is a bitch, so how you living? Pray for my enemies, unforgiving. Cast the pearls on hog moms and chitlin. If it's too hot, get your ass out the kitchen. Finger licking good, good looking. Stewing in the stew, I'm cooking. You psyched out, paranoid and shookin'. Shook the table, fades, I'm booking. Get prepared for this ass whooping. Listen to the words being spoken. You were talking, I'm awake and woken. While I'm spitting this, got your spit, got choking. Era up, a glimpse in my world, eyes shut open. Parallel in my mind, I'm chosen. Reverse the time, heart frozen. Antarctica, cold as ice. Casting lots, rolling dice. Mean as nails, I'm nothing nice. They persecuted me like they rejected Christ. Hey, show who you are. Good riddance. Is you kidding? Bid the forbidden, as it was written, with the heathens. Casting pearls on hog moms and chitlins. Sloth, love, gluttony, pride, wrath, and envy. Me on my neck, literally. 7 deadly sins constantly. So now I gotta take this shit personally. I have no respect of personality. If you ain't with me, then you against me. Mother Nature, but I got allergies, allergic to bullshit. My pedigree to some degree. But I open vision is 4D, portrait focused panoramic. All right. We're here today to talk about the name of the live is Men Too. And the reason why I labeled it Men Too, because we have also what is called a Me Too movement. And so the Me Too movement is basically focused on women being sexually harassed and also women who's been sexually abused. However, we never focus on the sexual abuse that men may have, women may have. Men may have from women. Cliff, I have Cliff on the line with me. Hey, Cliff, can you say something?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, because I didn't know what was going on with the mic.
No, I turned it off. I was letting you do your thing.
Yeah, just bear with me because still some like little technical difficulties happening here. But I do want to at least first let's get the definitions out there and then we'll get into it because a lot of people don't understand what sexual harassment is. A lot of people don't understand what being sexually abused is. And sometimes they don't even know that they're a victim or is it, then we got a question, is it really sexual harassment or abuse or just a natural way of human interaction? Like when somebody finds someone attractive, I'm talking about sexual harassment, not sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is when someone force their self on you, physically force. So let's just get some definitions. And thank you, Cliff, for coming in. And thank you, everybody who's watching my live. I do need to share this live to everybody, but in a minute, I'm going to do that. So let's look up sexual abuse definition. And let me just show you. Now, I'm not finna get too technical with you guys. I'm just getting basic definitions. Okay, let me just share this real quick so we could just get to the point here. While I still need time to here we go. So this is the definition of sexual abuse, or according to Wikipedia. Some people may think Wikipedia is not a valuable source, but I'm using Wikipedia today. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, let me send this. Okay, so Sexual abuse or sex abuse, also referred to as molestation, is abusive sexual behavior by one person upon another. It is often perpetrated using force or by taking advantage of another. Molestation often refers to an instance of sexual assault against a small child, whereas sexual abuse is a term used for a persistent pattern of sexual assaults. The offender is referred to as a sexual abuser. So I do want to make something clear too, because I got other people coming in as well. Um, I believe that like when a person reach adolescence age, like teenage age, they no longer call it molestation. They will call it like the R word, RAPE or whatever. I don't know if you too, but this is for, let me just make this disclosure. This is for educational purposes. So YouTube won't give me any type of strike. Cliff,
Yes, ma'am.
have you ever experienced sexual harassment or sexual abuse?
Not in those words. Not by that definition.
Okay.
Um, I have I have a different perception of what you're talking about.
Okay. Can you expound on that, please?
Well, in the basic sense of it is, I think that men or women are different. So if we're talking about the interaction between men and women,
Mhm.
or a man being abused, is that the word we were using?
Abuse, yeah.
Abused by a woman in the sexual nature. Um, I'm going to lean more onto the side of a specific time. What time frame are we talking about? You talking about adolescents? We talking about children? We talking about babies? Because
Um,
I
just, just
myself, I was a late bloomer, so I didn't have any of that sexual interaction stuff until late in high school, and didn't really take wings until college.
okay.
You know,
Um, so what was your? You haven't had any woman like sexually harass you, like that you wasn't interested? I'm just saying, like a woman that
see,
was very.
that's the thing about the words that you're using, like sexual harassment,
Uh,
man to woman, or woman to man, is really, I don't know. Men would wish women would sexual harass because that's our nature. We are always hunting anyway. So to have a woman put herself on the path in our pathway would be uh, what we want. Now you're talking about sexual attraction. That's a whole nother animal. Would
Sexual attraction versus sexual harassment, right?
mhm, correct.
Okay.
And what would be sexual harassment from a woman to a man? I don't even know if that exists.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you have like a father figure in your life or male figures in your life?
Of course.
Okay. So, did they encourage you to date women and seek out women?
Of course. But prior to that, I mean, again, boys will be boys is the slogan that comes into my head because boys were talking about girls messing with girls, chasing girls, pulling girls' ponytails, and you know all of that silly stuff. Long before the birds and the bees talk came with dads, we saw our fathers interact with our mothers. You know,
Okay.
we saw our older cousins interact with their boyfriend, their girlfriend. So that, and it's even more primal than that because again, in my mind, men hunt the women. So a woman a woman putting herself in the pathway or in the sight of a man would, I don't know, make the game easier.
Hmm.
Now, again, I don't know what age you're talking about. We're talking about, again, there's so many dynamics to this. There's layers and layers to this. Because you could be talking about school age children and a teacher taking advantage of one of their students,
Well,
or
we're
a
gonna
babysitter taking care of. one of those things. But you talking about a boy walking down the street. I mean, my personal experience
Mm-hmm.
is I've generally I've always dated women older than me,
Mm-hmm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when I was in the age of going and chasing women, it was always older woman. I didn't really have much to say to women my age or younger.
Okay. So let me
Again,
ask you,
I was a late bloomer too. So
what do you mean by
I,
late bloomer? What?
well, I would say, uh, I would know that, you know, sexual interaction or being in those situations happened earlier than I was sexually active.
Mm.
So again, I was late in my high school years when I had my first sexual interaction, but
How old were you?
probably a freshman. I guess that's not really. Well, I only had that one interaction. See, that's the thing. I only had that interaction once in high school, and then I got to university, things changed. But I more took notes and watched my prey
Watch
because
your
I,
boy.
yeah, well, because I always heard about the this person doing the wrong thing and that person doing the wrong thing, and I never wanted to be that guy, so I always took notes, notes, watched.
Hmm.
But again, that was just my thing at the time,
So let me ask you this, right?
and even
This,
then,
this,
my first experience was with older women.
your first experience was what?
Well, with an older woman,
How
she
old?
was like a sophomore. You know,
And you were
well,
how old?
technically, well, see that's kind of a lie because I went to school late. My
Mm-hmm.
birthday's in December,
Mm-hmm.
so that whole thing. So she was my age, but
Mm-hmm.
we were in a different grade. So I guess that don't even really count. She was older by about a year.
Oh, that's not that much older.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Don't even count, I guess. But she is technically, by your definition, older, right?
A year? No.
Oh, that don't count. Okay.
No, not if you. So let's be clear. Let me just get you this, because there's this thing called Romeo and Juliet
Oh,
law.
well, I was just talking about that. Yep. Yep.
Okay, but first, let me just get the definition of sexual harassment out there for the people that's watching and that's not clear. It says a behavior characterized by making of unwelcome and inappropriate sexual remarks or physical advances in a workplace or other professional or social situation. So that's
Like
sexual harassment.
that is so 2020s.
Right. So this is why I named it Men Too, because uh the Me Too
Men don't
movement.
too. Again,
Huh?
there is no. I don't know about them. I'm probably a bad example because I don't even saying men too sounds yucky and dirty and soft, and
What'd you
I ain't
say?
even. I said you saying men too is sounds wrong. It sounds
Well, why? Okay, just hear me out. When I say Men Too, I feel like the Me Too movement has made it almost impossible for a man that's attracted to a female to approach her
yeah. I
because
don't believe.
huh.
I don't. I don't really believe in that either. The Me Too is more about Harvey Weinstein sort of stuff.
No, not
Not really.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Eh, I'm not. Yeah, because Me Too falls into Johnny Depp crap and the Harvey Weinstein stuff. And Harvey Weinstein apparently was a good thing, but it just boiled over to the female gender taking it too far.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a good example is that comedian, that Indian comedian Aziz.
Mhm.
He
I don't
had
know
a
about him, so tell me about it.
well, the the story goes he's a comedian, up
Mhm.
and coming comedian.
Mhm.
He was out on a date with some girl. They shared oral interaction.
Mm,
Everything was fine. He wanted to take it further. She said no. He shrugged it off. They had some more interaction. The next day,
mm,
you know, she me too'd him, saying that she took advantage or he took advantage of her.
mm,
And I mean, Me Too is a slogan now because we could take it back to Tyson and Kobe. And I mean, that it's not a thing because women who put themselves in a position like that, oh, I'm going to get myself in trouble now, but put them in that sort of situation. I really, I mean, even Bill Cosby.
mm.
I got to ride with my boy Bill. It's a different
Uh-oh,
day. It's
uh-oh,
a different.
uh-oh.
I said I was going to get myself in trouble.
Yeah, you finna get in trouble, bro.
So Bill, well, hear me out first now. Give me a chance
I
to
don't know if I want to
bury
hear
myself. Go give me a chance to bury myself.
this.
So Bill is the first black face on TV,
Mm,
on the TV screen, right?
mm,
He's everything. He's the
mm,
Michael Jordan of TV. He's the whoever's famous on TV now. You know, he is, but the first black face, comedian, handsome. He was on I Spy, right? So we could assume that there were a lot of groupies, a lot of attention going his way, right?
mm, mm,
Now, during that time, during the 50s, they used to have pill parties. Pills, alcohol wasn't even a thing. I mean, seatbelts wasn't a thing. Wasn't even things weren't a thing. Cocaine wasn't even a thing. It wasn't cool to even register cocaine. The thing to do was pills, uppers and downers, and all that sort of stuff.
mm,
Now, all that being said, all of all of Bill's accusers came to his apartment for
mm.
quote unquote auditions, not through their agent, not through the studio, just
You
just
better put that dog on a leash now.
no, it's got to do what it's got to do.
Mm,
Um, so these people went willingly to somebody's apartment.
mm,
Okay, now the drugging part, I'm going to lean more on this. That's the sign of the times. Drinking and smoking weed, as I guess the general population does today. If we're going to look at it, oranges to oranges, right? So
mm,
if pills are the thing to do then, and some alcohol, and things got out of hand,
mm,
these women also waited 20 years to, or not even 20 years, I think it was like 50 years, but waited long time.
mm,
That seems to be extraordinary. Now, I would assume if we're talking about harassment and the grape stuff,
mm.
if if it were a man who had gotten assaulted, I would think that a man would call 911 and want to be protected. You know, use the service, say, hey, this person took advantage of me. But because men and women are different, that thing doesn't exist. Because if I gotta say again, like if a rabbit walks willingly into the lion's den, do you really fault the lion for eating? Really?
This is deep. This is deep.
That's just Bill Cosby.
I will
You,
say that I've seen some interesting stories that has been debunked when it came to Bill Cosby, but that also could fall in the line of coercion. And let me just bring up that one. Let me
coercion.
just, huh?
What kind of coercion can there be for someone to drive? Oh, you live in LA. Girl, you know what time it is. You know the effort that it takes to drive from one place. I don't care if it's supposed to be 15 minutes away. You know the effort that it takes to drive and find a parking spot in Los Angeles. You know what time it is with that. That's not a whimsical thing. So, like I said, I got a small window on that. You want to
Uh
talk about? You want me to go on the other side of the fence? We could talk R. Kelly. That dude
oh.
belongs where he's supposed to be. He belongs to be where he's supposed to be. I don't listen to R. Kelly music. I
Mhm.
I I took him off my playlist. I anytime I hear it, all I think about is him talking about little kids, and that makes me upset. So, like I
Okay,
said,
so now when we get to the level of R. Kelly, because I want to stop you right there,
but now we
because
talking. Wait a minute. Now we talking only about dudes on taking advantage of women. It's supposed to be women taking advantage of men.
right, so that's
I don't
why I
want to
had
get
to
off
stop
top.
you there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because okay, let's I'm gonna give some little background when it comes to R. Kelly, and I'm not defending R. Kelly or nothing. But first, let me give the definition of coercion before I even go into my spiel, because I am like the type of person that a lot of our people don't understand a lot of things because we're not very well read, and we don't know the definitions of certain words, and you know what I'm saying. So let's understand it, right? Let's get some
Get it?
understanding. So
Okay.
this is why I'm bringing out the definition of coercion, and it
Hmm.
is the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. It's another word I'm looking for though, because
I know you want something to plug up. You want something to stick on there. You just read the definition. That's
I
it.
know, no,
That's
no.
all.
I said it's another word I'm looking for though.
Oh,
When I when we
oh,
get to
another. Oh, I
talking,
see. I
huh?
get it. I get it. What you're saying. I understand. You're looking for
Right,
another
right,
word.
right, right. So coercion, yeah, forced or threats, right? So people can make threats like if you don't do this, then I'm gonna do that. You get what I'm saying?
I
So
see where you're reaching for. I see what you're reaching for. Go ahead.
I
Are
don't
we
know.
talking about R. Kelly? Or are we talking
We're
about
gonna
Bill?
get to R. Kelly in a minute.
Okay. Oh,
But I did want to talk about the coercion when you brought up Bill Cosby. But
I
there's
don't see.
another, huh?
Where's the coercion? Coercion.
Okay, so for
Coercion.
example, when it comes to Bill Cosby and what was the other guy, Harvey Weinstein,
Uh huh.
okay, they were
Those
men.
are
They were men in position of power, right?
correct. Correct.
So
Well. They were men of affluence. If you want to put them in the same block, they were men of affluence because Bill didn't have power. He was just famous. You know what I'm saying? We're
that's
talking about the
that
50s.
power. I mean, your fame
He
can
couldn't.
be used as some type of power.
Uh,
So I mean,
okay.
it's like tomato tomato. Okay,
Well,
so
no, it ain't because an actor's power is what? He gets free dinner. He can get to the
he
front
has
of the line
access
and
to
stuff.
things that normal people do not have. When you have access to things like that, then you have like an upper hand. When
Yeah,
you
but
have,
Harvey Weinstein was the guy that would put you in movies. He was the yes man. He was the guy that if you played nice with him, he would put you in a movie. Bill didn't have that kind of
he had
because
power like
that's
that over his TV shows, the different world.
well, you that's a long you well that's a different time frame. This all of those allegations were back when we're talking like I Spy time, not not different strokes and but not different.
Different strokes. I said
I know
different
I'm crazy.
world.
I
Get
know
it
I'm crazy.
together. Your black card finna get revoked.
Here you go. How you gonna
Cause
disrespect?
you
How
go
how you
different
think that you're
strokes,
gonna
different strokes.
do you not know who was in different strokes? You kidding me? I just
It
misspoke.
was
But
two
the
black
thought
folks. It was
the,
two
the
black
thought
folks in
that you
different
could
strokes.
be able to take my black card is
The fact that
blows
you
my mind.
confuse different
There's
strokes with
there's this
different
there's the
worlds,
harassment. There's the harassment.
it's
There's
not
the
sexual.
harassment.
It's not sexual.
There's the harassment. I just said harassment. That's harassment. You try to take my black card on some BS
Your
because I
black
misspoke. Wow. Anyway, go ahead. So, like I was saying, the power that Harvey Weinstein wielded is not the kind of power that Bill Cosby wielded. It was still 1950s, and he was a black man. So, the things that Harvey Weinstein could do throughout his whole life, as a in that industry is nothing compared to what Bill could do. So it's different. But if you're saying affluence and get to the front of line stuff where they walk down the street and people know who they are, I'm with you with that. I'm with you with that. But again, that's the women wanting that thing. So they put themselves. It's not like they didn't know. Some of those women with Bill came back 2, 3 times. Well, not 2, 3 times. Came back
Yeah,
twice.
yeah, yeah.
I'll be
They
honest.
did double back. I get
Right.
that. Right.
So if it's gonna be, I mean, if we're gonna really play the game, and look, I got a mother and a sister, and I ain't trying to hear that sort of stuff. But if you went there at 3 o'clock in the morning in a bikini and a trench coat, and I mean, what are you doing? you know. So that's what I'm saying. But if you went to the studio and you have an audition and do come or well, yeah, like Harvey Weinstein. That dude answered the door in his house coat, like you know what it is. You want this movie role? Come on in. If you don't, keep it moving.
So
And
you
I,
don't think that would be considered as coercion?
of course, that I said the two are different. Bill is different than Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
Again, Bill
So
didn't have that power to
okay.
do anything other than those women wanting to be around a famous person. Bill didn't have the power to put these people on.
Okay, he
You
might
know.
not have, he might have and he might did it. But let's just say, okay, because 9 times out of 10, a groupie might think, okay, if I get to this celebrity, then maybe he could get me in. So he used his celebrity as a form of I don't want to say coercion, as
You
manipulation.
said, okay, you say groupie. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
groupies. These are groupies we talking about.
okay, so those people bought tickets to the show and they want to get backstage. So what do they do to get backstage? They do whatever they can to get backstage. And then when they get backstage, they still got to get into the studio or into the room. And then they got to get down that hallway. And then once they get down the hallway, they got to still get in the door. What are they doing all of those times to get down there? I mean, what are we really talking about here? It's not like they stumbled upon the road that you're trying to get me to fall into of these women who were grown at the time. I think they were all at least 20, were naive enough to think that going to an actor's house or an apartment, he was married, his apartment to go over lines was going to get them in the door of Hollywood. Come on, I can't roll with that. Can't roll with that.
Okay, we got another person on here. What's up, Classic? Classic. Oh, he's not gonna say nothing. He just on here for the look. Classic Craig.
Yo, what's up, Mika? How we doing?
Oh, we doing? It's getting there. I'm still trying to get to the fundamentals here, but we're getting there. I didn't really want to talk about what men done. I want to talk about what's been done to men.
So,
I don't.
so
Can,
you want to talk about what the evil bitches have done to us innocent
oh
men?
yes.
Wait. First of all,
Let me
Classic,
turn
you
my
ain't
mic
gonna
off.
come up on my show calling nobody no bitch first.
He didn't call nobody nothing. He spoke generally.
See,
I
it's a
know.
difference, Mika,
Yep.
I
Yep.
know there's a difference, but
between
okay.
women and dogs.
Mm.
All
It's
right.
a difference. They ain't the same whatsoever. You know, I have an older sister. You know what I'm saying? We're 10 years apart. One thing my sister told me, right?
You going in and out,
See,
Craig.
the type of lady that would respond.
Craig, you going in and out, bro.
Oh man, he dropping down. Start over, because we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Your mic mute. Okay. I can't unmute your mic. I don't know what happened. Well, when Craig get his thing back together, then he can come on back in because I know he on the road. So I want you to still be careful on the road and then come back on in. But so I wanted
She was about to cut it, slice and dice. I'm
He
trying to be
was, he
polite.
was, he
Mm-hmm.
was.
Woo!
Yeah, everybody, I will be letting people on and putting the link in later on, but I just need to get through some fundamental things first. I got a little slow start, but I'm trying to get to the good stuff, to the nitty gritty. We're gonna get to the nitty gritty soon. Yeah, Craig, go out and come back in. So basically, let me just address the R. Kelly. I don't even want to address that really, but when it comes to R. Kelly, he was 27. The girls he was dealing with was 16. That's what 11 years, 10 years
Is
different.
it even a concept? Is it really even a conversation? But go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not because I wasn't going to talk about that, but you brought it up.
Okay. Go
So
ahead. Fair enough. Fair enough.
so I was gonna just do the Romeo and Juliet law so people can understand how that goes. And like I said, I'm a person of definitions and understanding. So let me just share this tab, and it's just a Google search. And people don't think Google is a good source, but these are people that Google just brings up the people that have studied this and they put it on whatever website. So anyway, so Romeo and Juliet law, right? Hold on. Let me just put definition because this ain't giving the full, because we don't have Romeo and Juliet law out here in California. So the Romeo and Juliet laws allows for anyone between the ages of 14 and 17 to give consent to engage in sexual intercourse with another person within 3 years of age. Sometimes it's older. So let me get, because in different states it's older. It's a longer span. Sometimes it's 5 years.
No,
Sometimes it's 10 years.
California's law is if you inside a 10-year span, you can have sex with them.
Actually, there is no Romeo and Juliet law in the state of California.
I don't know if they call it Romeo and Juliet, but they just, well, I don't know if it passed now, but they
No,
sure
they do
was
not
trying to
have.
push that through.
Trust me, because I have a 21-year-old son, and he's still attracted to girls that's probably
No,
like.
not hasn't anything to do with your son. I'm talking about the
No, but
law.
I'm saying because my son is 21, I look into laws to make sure he's being safe when he's dealing with other women. So when I look into the law, this says, but I don't think it ever been passed because in the state of California.
Read it.
Let me read it because I want to make sure that this is new. If it did pass, hold on, I'm on the wrong tab.
See, you know what I'm talking about. I want this.
Okay, because it say 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Romeo.
Them Democrats, boy, they be putting on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me see. Romeo and Juliet law in California. There are no. You see the tab. There are no Romeo and Juliet laws in California. This means that it is always statutory rape to have consensual sexual intercourse with someone under 18.
Okay. It must did not pass.
Huh?
Thank goodness. It must did not pass. Thank goodness. I was just talking to some.
You said what?
So I was just talking to my lady about the whole Romeo and Juliet itself. Romeo was 30 years old chasing Juliet, who was like a teenager, 14 years old, 13, 14 years old.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Because they was in those weird times. My bad,
Right. It
people.
was.
I'm
Nah, man. You back as long as you straight.
You good, classic. Go on and do your spill.
But yeah, we have to talk about these evil bitches. Now, Mika, now I will tell you this, right? There's a difference between a woman and a bitch at the end of the day, right? Check this out, right? Because one thing, my sister told me this, and she was correct. A real woman is not going to be responded to being, she's not going to respond to being called a bitch. But a bitch would at the end of the day, whether she likes it or whether she doesn't like it. You see what I'm saying? So let's just get to the nitty gritty, right? And, shout out to my older sister. You know what I'm saying? She'll kill me if she saw me cursing. But anyway, I just want to say this, right? So we're talking about men too. what men go through with women. Okay, this is a very controversial topic. Now, this is why a lot of men at the end of the day don't necessarily like talking about these topics because, like, a lot of men from birth, we're taught that you suck up your pain. You have no tears. You have no emotions, right? And even if this woman hurts you, you have to be better as a man. You have to do something better so it won't happen the next time. It was somehow your fault, and you have to take accountability of that, right? And you have some women, they teach their sons that, right? And when they teach their sons that, right, they'll grow up to be this great traditional man, great husband, great individual that want to help a woman, give their life for a woman, do all of that. And they'll usually run into ladies who view those men as tools. And when those men get with those women, they get drained, belittled, just in a lot of ways called less than. And when they're called less than, at the end of the day, right, they'll try to be better. Try to do everything in their power to make that woman happy because they feel like that woman's happiness is more important than that man's happiness. He's not a man if he does not make her happy. Happy wife, happy life, right? So that woman goes forward, does what she does, cheats on him, degrades him, drives him to the dirt, right? That man is left with an empty hole inside of him. He's left with the state of why. He's left with, I was taught this. And when he realized that everything he learned about women from his mother, from how his father interacted with his mother, from how his elders or from how his older brothers who were successful in marriages, he realized that everything was a lie. It may have worked in their generation, but it's not working in this generation that he's in currently. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of men at the end of the day, right, who are born traditionally, right, are the ones who are the main, are the ones that are mainly heartbroken, destituted, and pretty much in a lot of ways, how can you put it, scarred. You see what I'm saying? Because they were taught to be the ideal husband. Watch how your mother treats your father. And in turn, you watch how your father treats your mother. And then you wonder why that does not work with your girl in 2023. You see what I'm saying? Your parents were born in goddamn me 73. And you wondering why the hell it's not working. A lot of men who are traditional go through that. And that is a major topic that most people don't really talk about at the end of the day, right? But before I go into that, what do you guys think about that still? Before I go in,
I feel like women can be very abusive, especially verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and all of those things. So I definitely think that a lot of men, especially black men, is tired of it. Nobody wants to be told what they're not doing when the person is trying their hardest to strive and do what they got to do just to make a living. You know, we're living in a what do you call it, a country, especially in the United States, where it's all about capitalism. You know, and with capitalism, it's always a pyramid. That's why it's a pyramid on the dollar, because there's always going to be poor and there's always going to be rich. It's not, and then you have the in between. But if you look at the pyramid, the poor is the majority at the bottom. So when living in the
there's a
capitalist,
hierarchy.
yes, a hierarchy. So when living in a capitalist country like that, then somebody got to be the bottom man. And so, unfortunately, it's our black men, you know. And so, bad enough they have to deal with being on the bottom of the totem pole. They got to listen to the woman bitching and complaining all the time. So I get where you're going with that. However, I just need to bring it back a little bit, and I want to share a video with you guys and then get your response to it. Okay? Is that possible?
Sure.
Okay. So did post this video, and I'm going to share it real quick. Because this is basically what I'm talking about when I talk about men too. But it's so many things that Black men go through. It's very vague, and it's so many layers to this. Hold on, let me make it bigger.
So I'll be wrong when I say I was like Kitty.
How do you make this? Oh, here got bigger.
Joe, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Oh, D-Ray? Oh my God.
You're a Hollywood guy. You've been in a lot of films.
Yeah.
We talked about the barbershop films, but there's also like G.I. Joe. Keep naming them for me.
G.I. Joe, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Barbershop 2, The Fog, License to Wed.
How many films?
About 30.
30 films.
Yeah.
If you see sort of like the apocalypse that's happening in Hollywood right now, starting with Harvey Weinstein, now it's spread to, Kevin Spacey. And in fact, Terry Crews just filed criminal charges today. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
For sexual harassment.
Yeah. That's the same person he said that grabbed him?
Grabbed his dick.
But wait, he said he was cool with it. Not cool with it. He said that
sexual assault.
He said he wasn't going to say nothing.
He wasn't going to do nothing. But he said something.
He said something. Yeah, he said I was
right. He wasn't going to beat the guy up.
Yeah, because you can't.
Well, you can, but
no, he can't beat. No, he couldn't have beat the guy. Like in that moment, you could response, but he said he didn't want. I think Terry just knows Terry will beat the fuck out of somebody. So
right. Yeah. So he just filed. He just filed the sexual assault charge.
So now we know who it is now.
Well, they've been knowing who it is. Adam Vennet. This guy. You know?
What
sure?
movie?
No, he's
you say you sure? Like he produced one of my movies. I'm like, I'm sure.
You've been getting a lot of roles, G-Ray.
I know, get a lot of roles. I'm not what they want though. They like the Terry Cruzes. They don't want no little light skinned dude. They don't want me. What does he produce though?
Well, he was an agent, I guess. He was an executive.
Hold on, y'all. I just want to fast forward this a little bit because
the models that are signed with Endeavor were automatically signed to Whitmore. As a matter of fact, no, they were automatically signed to.
I want to get to the point where
I don't want to get in no trouble. I want to ask people who are saying everybody, you have the right to protect your body. No one should be able to take advantage of you in any way that you feel uncomfortable with. Have we all at some point hoard ourselves out for something that we wanted? My joke I always make is I'm holding myself out. Like I hold myself out for like simple shit. Like if I'm at the carnival and I want to get in the front of the line, I'll be like, yo, I'll take a picture with you. And they be like, oh, straight up, get this picture. And I'm like, dang, I just hold a little bit. Or we're at the Taste of Chicago and this guy had these Mountain Dews and you get like
let me stop it real quick, y'all, because
he's like tasting it for it. And I was like, yo, man.
It's a part of the hold on. It's a part of this video that I want to share. But give me a moment. And Craig, take over for a second while I find the part that I'm looking for.
I just want to say this stuff. A lot of individuals don't really necessarily understand what a lot of men go through. I'm pretty sure y'all hear a lot of women scream out and they say stuff like, we're in a patriarch society, right? We're in a patriarch society. Men rule. Women are oppressed. All this other, this crazy stuff at the end of the day, right? I forgot the lady's name, but she was a famous YouTuber and she was a trucker, right? She went to Dubai. Right? And what this girl did, she screamed in Dubai, right? A lot of people don't know where Dubai is. It's over there in the Middle East somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Really populous city. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go there. Very beautiful, matter of fact. But over there in that region, that culture, those individuals, they have a extreme patriarchal society, right? That is real prime patriarchy over there, right? So this woman, overly privileged, feel like she can get away and do anything, right? Screamed and yelled at a person when she was driving her car in Dubai, and she screamed and yelled at the person, get the blank out the way. And what happened? The superpowered patriarchies of Dubai arrested her for screaming. You see what I'm saying? So check this out, right? Now, she was over there in Dubai. She got released. And I'm going to get the lady's name later on. Now, her ass said, I'm never going to Dubai ever again because, yeah, that's real patriarchy. You see what I'm saying? Now, over here
Well,
in America, go ahead, she.
well, I was just going to, you was about to say it right there. That I don't know if this, I'm not going to roll down that patriarchy crap. I'm just going to, I think the difference was America is different than Dubai, Saudi Arabia.
It is different. It's
And
different
they
because,
have different rules and they run by a different law than there is in America. And she assumed that because she was American, she could take American rules over there. And she learned
because she
the
was
new,
beautiful,
I
because
don't know
she's
if
able
it,
to get what the hell she want to get out of men, because
yeah.
she have men flocking towards her, she feel
No,
like she was
see,
overly privileged. You see what I'm saying?
at the
And she
same
feel like she could just
at the
treat.
same time, I want to co-sign what you're saying. You have to realize that she's using the same tricks we use on us. Like men are visual, so we want to see some tits and ass, so that's what she shows. We know as men, women like cars, money, and a house, so that's what we use. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I'm not going to really flow down those sort of traps, but the difference, the reason that she really got caught up was because she thought that she was an American, thought that she could yell and scream on a public street, and in that country, it's illegal to yell and scream. And so she got locked up for that. And the reason she's not going to go back there is because the rules are different. I wouldn't do that. You know, if
And not only that, because I get what you're saying, but the type of woman this was an overly privileged
correct,
woman who felt like
correct, well,
all men were the same. And my point
correct,
is, right, when we talk about these type of ladies, right, these type of ladies are notorious for running game. Okay,
correct.
and they feel
Yep.
like a man's kindness is a tool to use for her own benefit. And shout out to Coach Brody, these type of ladies would pretty much entertain the idea of liking a man or putting them in a relationship, right? But in turn, they're just basically using them and stringing them along for the ride. Now, getting
How
back to what I
how
said about
naive do how naive do men have to be to not realize that that game is being run?
it's
Right.
not being naive, right? If you were taught to respect women and protect them, no doubt, you're gonna
Mm-mm.
do this because you saw your father do it for your mother.
Oh no,
And
see,
then
I also had a mother, so my mother didn't
right,
allow me to be taken advantage of by any woman.
right. But see, check this
So
out. That's your mom, right?
right,
Other moms have a different style when they raise their child.
I
Like
see.
I'll give an example, right? Since this is a men's two thing, right? Show, right? You have a boy, and the boy had to be about 7 or so. The boy said, I don't want a fat woman, right? I don't want a fat woman at all. His mama was fat. And you know what his mama did? His mama she made a TikTok, and the boy was tending to his fat mama, giving her food, helping her with her clothes, doing her nails and stuff. And she said, since my young son doesn't want a fat woman, I'm training him how to teach and deal with a fat woman. You see what I'm saying? Now,
There's so many
but
layers to that. But
there is so many layers to it, but that
That's
shows
crazy.
you at the end of the day, right, what some men go through and why some men have this view or
you said a
feeling
7-year-old
toward.
and men. I don't.
Okay, I'm just saying. No, let me finish. Let me finish. Yes, that's a boy, but a lot of boys hold on to that trauma at the end of the day, right?
Where's
And
his
that's what I'm
father?
saying. That's what I'm saying. Hold on. That's what I'm saying. People wonder why a lot of men have this issue or this strong opinion. A lot of times it starts at home, right? It really does at the end of the day, right? So when we go forth and we start looking into different perspectives, right, of men, right, and I'm just gonna say black men, right? Black men are under extreme matriarchal rule. You feel what I'm saying? They're under extreme matriarchal rule from a small age and even getting into adolescent stage. A lot of black men growing up, like I'm calling them men, growing up, they get to pretty much see at the end of the day, right? They are not at the top of the food chain when it comes down to being in charge. They are either a tool, an object, or something that's just completely irrelevant. at the end of the day towards certain women. And I'll give you an example. Right? You got a lot of men right now. A friend of mine, he had to go through this personally, right? He was in a predicament with this girl he loved. He loved her very much so. This lady, at the end of the day, child was not my partner's child biologically. You see what I'm saying? So he spent pretty much a goddamn good 11 years of his life with this child, you know? And what it did to him when he confronted her about it, you know what I'm saying? She said, well, does it matter? You've been here 11 years, so you might as well just deal with it.
Oh, that's
Children
crazy.
are a blessing. So you are going to be a man and stay with our son, or are you just going to just be, you know, not a man and just leave? You see what I'm saying? You know,
Well,
what that
that's
did to him.
what men have to take a leadership role, and sometimes being the leader isn't the nicest or the social doesn't fit into the social construct. So oof, man, I come from a different time frame, so I might be speaking ignorantly about this, what you're talking about, because a strong woman, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, few of my older cousins, my female cousins, having their leadership, their guidance on a female path was something that I cherished, because I also at the same time had older male cousins and a father and uncles that I also took their teachings and put those things together. So I didn't have all females around me. So
But see,
I can't
but
speak
see,
to that.
brother, this is what I'm saying though, at the end of the day. See, what you're doing, you're talking about what you didn't have. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about what a lot of men are going through right now.
Right,
I mean, like
That's what
I get you, but I'm just saying a lot of these men, just like a friend of mine with that child that wasn't his, and that woman say, okay, the baby's not yours, you're still gonna be his father.
Well, yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
in my mindset, I don't care how long I've been there. I'm not doing that. And as a matter of fact, 11 years, I'm going down to the courthouse and getting that time and money back. That's in my mind, because I
I mean, see
feel
what he
like,
did, and I'm just gonna put it to you like this. He was really torn. I mean, he was torn. He was ripped apart. You see what I'm saying? He was really ripped apart because the dude didn't really have that much of a family structure anyway. And to be used like that, right? It destroyed him.
truly,
So,
I
but
understand.
you have some women that feel like, you know, it doesn't matter because I'm giving you attention, deal with it, and you just have to make me happy. Who cares how you feel? I'm giving you pussy, right? So a lot of men go through that. And because a lot of men deal with that, they fight that, they pretty much in a lot of ways try to contain themselves and stuff like that, they go off the deep end. And that's not
Now,
talked
see,
about. And when it is talked about, it's shamed and say, well, you should have known. Well, you known better. Well, why
oh
didn't you
no,
get a
I don't.
DNA
Oh
test?
no,
Why
oh
didn't
no.
you
See,
do
I don't
this?
construct. I don't. I don't even
But
see that
I'm
sort of
saying,
stuff. That's why I said I have to remove myself from the conversation, because I can't speak to that. My mind's. I have a whole different. You saying those things gives me anger chills. I don't. I want to go help the person. I want to help my man go find a lawyer. That shit gonna pay. That's the kind of person that I am. But that's because of my back.
I
I
feel
don't.
you.
Right.
I
So
feel
I
you.
can't speak to anything that you're speaking to. So I should be just falling back and listening. I really don't. And
Okay, you don't always have to speak
I
on it.
feel you. I get you.
Let me
I mean,
just take
I
over
feel
a
you and I
little
get
bit.
you, but I'm just saying
Go
this
ahead.
is why you got some men that are going through it, right? And
right.
see, my point is, you know, now you have some men that pretty much in a lot of ways watch this. They watch this behavior of certain ladies, and they pretty much in a lot of ways don't fall into the whole shenanigans, right? I mean, like myself. I mean, I got played. I would say about one time in my life, right? And that one time taught me, and I learned certain telltale signs and what not to do. If she says this, it means green. That doesn't mean go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like certain telltale signs. But in all actuality, when we get down to the nitty gritty with most black men, especially black men in general, right? They have no outlet. And because they have no outlet at the end of the day, right? You see these individuals in a lot of ways go off to other women of different nationalities, and they'll get treated better sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even if they do get abused by those women, they would pretty much in a lot of ways still deal with it and say, well, it's better than what I've been dealing with.
I can speak to that. All women in Western world, all the women in America are all the same. All of them. All of them. All of y'all. All of
No,
y'all.
you're not the
Down
same.
to the core, y'all all the same. Y'all all of the same.
Let's
All the
put it to
same.
you like this, bro. Let's put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this, right? Yes, no, maybe so, kind of, who knows, right? Because like really in all actuality, right, with most guys, right, I know a dude, and this is how it's pretty weird. He left his baby mama. Now the dude with a white girl, right? Now the white girl takes care of him, does everything for him, right? The Negro even boasts, and it's so many of these guys. It's like when you talk about one, you're damn near talking about them all at the end of the day. Now, the dude's black baby mama was very abusive towards him, you know, cheated on him, all that type of stuff, right? But the white lady took him in, helped him out, got him a good job, did things for him, right? The dude is living great. He has kids by her and all of that. But she runs that damn house, right?
As
He's
she
not a
should.
man.
Why would a man want to run the house?
No. Listen to me again. He does not run that damn house. That's not even his house legally. And if she wanted to, she can kick him out.
So again, I say, why would he run the house? It ain't even his.
Hold up, Chief. Because you got some men, they run the house and it's not even theirs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I know plenty of those guys, and they in perfectly fine relationships, and they are that man in the damn house. But back to the whole schematics, right? This guy at the end of the day, right? If he does not do what that lady says, it's over. He got kicked out a couple of times. He got left stranded a couple of times. She left him and just took the kids and stuff like that. Cried, begged, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was pretty much extreme of what he went through. But talking with this man, he said it's better than my baby mama, which was black. And I said, wow, this is wild. This is wild. But you know something though? You know something though? That man comes from a long line of abuse from his mother and from black women, right? So he feels like what the hell he's going through with that white woman. He feels like at the end of the day, it's better. I've seen some guys do that shit, and it's weird as hell. But even though it's the same type of tactic, if you ask me, he still doesn't see the difference mentally. And you can't help somebody who don't want to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, getting into it a little bit deeper, right? That man is incapable of being a man because he was brought down so low by women in his life, right? Pretty much black women in his life. He's pretty much a child in their eyes.
I don't co-sign that. I don't co-sign that. I'm sorry.
You say you don't co-sign?
Yeah, that's terrible for him. That's terrible.
Okay, let me pause y'all for a minute because I do want to get on with the topic a little bit. Everybody is not going to agree, and so we could just agree to disagree. You have good people, you have bad people, you have good mothers, and you have bad mothers. But I do want to get back onto where I was going with this, right?
It doesn't exist. I keep trying to tell you it doesn't exist. Will you tell her? Will you tell her it don't exist?
What don't exist?
If we're talking about An 18-year-old man, I would even say
Okay, well, I'm gonna
17-year-old.
pause you for a second,
Okay, go
and
ahead.
let me. We'll get back to that, but I do
Okay.
want to show some things that I have gotten for to to expound on, and
Okay.
I don't want to stay stuck on one particular topic. So let me just get to this part because I was trying to show this video earlier, but now I found the space. So let me get to this part, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and I got some other videos that I want y'all to see.
Maybe because I've been put in a situation, and people always say that to me. You don't know what it felt like to. I've been, as a young guy, my mother's friends my mother was involved in a lot of stuff, but I've had older women who thought I wasn't being parented correctly, slightly try to take advantage of me, and not slightly have taken advantage
Right,
of
but
me.
you lost your virginity to 30-year-olds
Yeah,
at the same time?
yeah, two ugly, horrible looking women.
And you were
What was I?
you were how old?
11.
11.
Going to 12. I had no hair on me.
Right.
I had no. I remember not having, and it was disgusting. And to this day, it's difficult for women to get me to go down. It's difficult. The girls that have had it, you're welcome, but it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to go down, man, because I'm like, I remember what it was like down there. It was like, it was like a scary jungle. It was a terrible place to be. It was a terrible place to be, and they were like taking turns. I was just happy to be up. And it made my Kool-Aid taste different for a long time.
I mean, we laugh about this.
I know, but because I'm a boy, I know it's different,
Right.
and we should know. We need to just pay more attention to what happens. But
Hey, pause there real quick, Nico. If you don't
I'm
mind.
definitely not taking the Harvey side
See,
and
I
nobody
wanted
side. I just want to know
to say this. Is I
women
wanted to say right here.
and what is going.
Go ahead.
Check this out. That's and everybody know fair warning. That's Vlad's video from Vlad TV. But I just want to say this. Notice when I said that you have some boys, right? The trauma that they go through with certain women, right? At a young age, just like I talked about the boy whose mom, at the end of the day, who was fat, who was making his ass, tend to her, help her put her clothes on and all that stuff like that. It goes in turn with this guy right here, right? Who's I guess his mom's friends or whatever was around his ass and shit like that. And they pretty much in a lot of ways forced themselves on this boy and stuff like that. I heard so many stories like this, right? Even though the man laughing about it, Vlad's making a joke, he's traumatized at the end of the day. He ain't going down on no girl. So it all starts at a young age. A man's perception of women and the reality he lives in based off of what he's around. Just like when Mika said, there's good people and bad people, right? But since we live in a world of reality, and it's harsh and brutal and horrific, there's more bad than good. You have some sick people that will take a child and just in a lot of ways flip them out, turn them out, him or her. But since we're talking about a lot of male children, right? A lot of male children at the end of the day, from what I've been seeing, their cases of their molestation at a young age don't really get reported. And they're not even really thought about at the end of the day, right? When it comes down to molestation or even child abuse. And
Right.
It is very sad. It's very sad at the end of the day at how this is all done. But a lot of people tend not to necessarily care. And one thing about these predators that deal with these young boys, because I'm gonna just be real with you, you have some ladies, they know they can get away with it. And they feel like they won't get a punishment about it being the
Was that the word you're looking for? Molestation instead of coercion?
No, that is not the word I was looking for. I went through the definition of molestation and what the brother on the video was talking about was definitely molestation. But coercion is more like between two adults. I mean, it's like when you threaten someone, like if you don't do this, then I'll do that. You know,
So is that what we're talking about? Is that the age bracket you're talking about to adult, or
I'm
are you talking?
talking about men who have experienced different atrocities along all ages from women.
Atrocities or
Atrocity.
molestation?
Because it doesn't just like I said, there's many layers to this. It doesn't just
Women
end
been
on
abusing
let me
men
talk,
since Adam and Eve.
let me talk because you asked me a question. It doesn't only begin with molestation, but it could be molestation, it could be sexual harassment, it could be sexual abuse, or it could be coercion. So there's many different layers, and these definitions vary depending on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Um, Men, it's a lot of men, and I also want to go into that spiel, but you guys start going a little off. I'll let y'all get y'all time, but let's
We was
just
killing
stay
time waiting for
focused.
you.
Huh?
We were killing time waiting for you.
Y'all wasn't waiting for me. I'll let y'all talk.
We
Oh,
were
I
waiting for
just was
you to
letting
get the
y'all talk.
video.
Huh?
We were waiting for you to get your video straight.
Well, I still have to make sure a person get their complete thought out before I interrupt. So that's just the type of
Okay,
person I am.
gotcha.
So, anyways, I did like a little survey on Facebook, and I'm not gonna name no names or whatever. And I asked 2 questions or 3 questions, I believe. And so one of the questions was how many of the men slept with older women when they were in their teens, right? And so I understand that a lot of young men in their teens wanted older women, right? They wanted to be with older women. They were taught to get them older women by older men or men around them. Like, they were taught to put those notches on their belt. However, and a lot, and especially in the Black community, Black men are taught to put those notches on their belt to prove their manhood, right?
To get older
However,
women.
huh?
To get older women.
Yes. And I was going to show
Is
this.
that some fact or something somewhere, or is that the poll? You talking question?
I was just talking about my poll.
Yeah.
Okay, so this also, like, this is an example where Bootsy, and I'm not trying to knock Bootsy or whatever, but Bootsy brags about getting his underage son oral sex, right? And so when I first had my son, this is just my personal experience. When I first had my son, my husband was saying something similar. Like, when my son gets 12, I'm gonna get him this. And so he
Wow.
can,
Well.
yeah.
Wow. That shocks me.
Boosie Badass son was 11
Wow. That was.
when that happened. It's it's several polls. So I got like 50 people on this particular. Well, I wrote the poll on different platforms, so I could say it's 50 people on the one I'm looking at now. I'm talking about Philip. Let me just show this.
Well, I had told you earlier. I was a late bloomer, so.
Yeah. So he asked me a poll of how many people. So it's hard to determine, but right now I'm looking at my main post on my Mika Ya page, and it's like 50 comments here. So that's 50 males, right? And then I also posted in different groups. So I could say that the total could be up to 100 people, right? 100. So a lot of them have experienced sex with older women in their teens. And I'm not going to put nobody on blast. Y'all know who y'all are. If y'all watching it, y'all answer the question.
Teens is a big bracket. Are we talking 18, 19? Or are we talking 13? Like, that's a big bracket.
I just want
Okay. Let me finish. So, yes, we're talking teens. So from 13 to 19. And then it was like, because just knowing that a child a human being, a human adult person brain is not completely fully developing until the age of 25.
Yes, but what you're talking about has nothing to do with
Let
the
me.
brain in that sense.
You're asking what I'm talking about, but you have yet to see where I'm going. Like I said,
Okay,
I let
I
y'all talk
apologize.
so y'all
Go
can
ahead.
get y'all
My bad.
complete
You
thoughts
turn my
out.
mic off.
So so let me get a spill. You know what I'm saying? But it is a big bracket, but it's not that big. It's only from 13 to 19, and most of these men from 13 to 19 dealt with women that was 10 to 20 years older than them, and but they don't see it as being sexually abused or molested or raped or whatever. So I use the term sexually abused because sexual abuse includes molestation, rape, and harassment, right? So a lot of them look at it as a rite of passage. However, just like the brother said earlier on this other screen, and I'm gonna go to the next one. This brother here, I can't remember his name right now, D. Ray Davis, how disgusted he was that he had dealt with those other women. He was 11. So at the age of 11, that would be considered as molestation, but he was very disgusted. And I believe that there is some type of trauma associated with that most men have not dealt with, because like our brother Classic said, they're taught not to cry. They're taught to be strong. They're taught to be this, Superman. So for a lot of men, they have to wire their brain like, well, I was being a man in that situation. So that's why I brought this up, and what inspired me to do this, because I recently did a show with the sister Tiffany about the sister Priscilla Clark, where she talks about how men are predators. But men are, a lot of men have been reported as predators because women will report more than the men. And a lot of times women are reporting men as predators who didn't even prey on them. You see, it's a lot of our brothers get locked up for false rape allegations. So that's why I made this video, men too. And I'm raised by men. So, and I'm surrounded by men, and I see the trials and tribulations they go through with dealing with women, So that's why I did that. Now,
Let me say this right quick, Mika.
Mm.
A lot of people don't understand necessarily at the end of the day, right? When it comes down to the nature of these men that sleep with these older women, right? Now, I'm just 29, but a lot of friends, matter of fact, two of my brothers, those two, right? They started being sexually active with grown women, 40, 42 years old, you know what I'm saying? Next door neighbors, at about they were 12. And what it did to them, right, when they stopped messing around with those women, right, they didn't necessarily become predators, but they understood, they had an advanced understanding of different women at the end of the day, right? And they had a certain type of mindset when it came down to women. And because it was somewhat childish at the time, it affected them at an older stage in life, right? And you look at my brothers now, my brothers still have, even though they attract women, they still have this real childish deposition when it comes down to women in general, right? And it affected them all the way until they're in their late 30s. Shout out to Brody again. Coach Brody spoke about men who also dealt with right at that age, messing with women older than them when they were way younger, before their teens and stuff like that, right? A lot of these men necessarily at the end of the day, of course, they have a better game when it comes down to getting women, right? But a lot of these men are so desensitized, right? When it comes down to a lot of these ladies, right? you wonder why they act this way, why they're so abusive, why they do X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? Why do they attack these women? Why do they do this? Why do they have a hatred at the end of the day?
Mm.
You know? And it kind of pretty much tells on itself. But anyway, I'm giving it back to you, Mika. I just wanted to add that, you know.
Right. So that's exactly why, because these our men. I'm just focusing on our men right now, but it's a lot of men, more than just black men. Men in general have dealt with trauma. I mean, I have dealt with it because they haven't dealt with it, but they have experienced trauma that they have yet to deal with. And so we wonder why they have this dominant, aggressive behavior, because they're trying to gain control of something that they never had control of when they in their younger years. So now they're trying to get this control over situations. And I'm not saying that every man that experienced trauma from a woman is domineering and aggressive, but this is one aspect, because there's many different layers. This is like an onion. We just peeling back the layers of the things that our men had to deal with. I didn't even get to the point where we talk about bug breaking, the things that the police done to them. And it's not just about the abuse women did, but I do have to show that women have a predatory nature as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of like, and I wish my sister Tiffany was on here. I might send her a link if she's not busy, but it's kind of like a part two to the live that we did previously. And I'm not trying to downplay our women, and I'm not trying to downplay men. I'm just talking about predators. There are predators everywhere, lurking and seeking who they shall devour, right? So I want to show this other clip real quick, and then let y'all speak on that. And I got a few clips that I want to show. And like I said, everything is for another disclosure. Everything is for educational purposes and just to get an insight. And I wanted first-hand information instead of second or third-hand information, even though I will be sharing second and third-hand information. I just want people to see the experiences that certain different men go through. So let me share this screen right now. Hold on. Share it. And if y'all ain't in Real Talk, y'all missing out on a lot. Just to let you know. Hold on. Let me get to the video. Let's see.
Because I'm afraid sexually.
Wait, let me get him to the beginning.
It hasn't messed me up, but I'll say it messed me up sexually for a minute. Because I'm afraid sexually.
Were your mother and father married?
After I was about 3. Yeah, married. I was born Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor III. I got names from pimps and gangsters and all that threw in.
You were 15 years old
14.
when your first child was born?
Yeah, yeah.
My Lord.
Yeah.
How could you? I mean,
It was fun.
was it?
Oh, man, are you kidding? In the garage?
And then after she was born?
I didn't know my father was making love to her, too. Boom, boom. That's the truth.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who believed in you? Who cared about you?
Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor III.
You.
And magic dust.
Are you totally off drugs?
No, I love drugs. I do. I really do. But I can't do them a lot because it messes my life up. Every time I get in trouble, it's because I end up drinking too much, or I end up snorting too much, or smoking too much. But I like drugs, and I don't want to say it like to make other people want to do them. I really want to say that. But I like some cocaine every now and then, sit around my friends and get high. I mean, I enjoy that.
And you might still.
Might still.
Do still.
No, I haven't done it a little while, but I might.
A year and a half later, Richard Pryor set himself ablaze and then ran.
Okay, so we ain't gonna talk about but the drug addiction was a consequence of him sleeping. It's like he was trying to deal with the trauma, so he decided to self-medicate. Are you guys there with me or no? Y'all left me.
Oh, I'm here with you, but I'm trying to stay silent because, girl, that is out of context, and I can't
No,
believe you
that's
put Richard
very
Pryor up there. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
it's
Richard
very
Pryor. Richard Pryor grew up in a whole house. Richard Pryor is
exactly.
not a good. Richard Pryor is not a good example. He is an extreme example of a bad situation, and for you to use that as an example, and to use that video as your line of thinking, and then you even tried to diagnose him. I don't think that's fair.
You
That's
don't
just
think
my
that's
take.
fair?
That's just I don't think that's not fair. If you don't like that word, I'm just gonna say that's not. I don't think that's appropriate. That's totally out of
I
context. He's
mean,
a comedian on top of that, so he's playing to the club.
hold on, we can't do that. That's wrong. We have plenty of. I know some black men who said they told me their mama was a hoe, and they lived in a whorehouse just like that, right? And they saw the things that their mama had to do, right, just to get food. You see what I'm saying? It traumatized them. Matter of fact, we
No,
can't
I'm not
do
in it
that.
as an example. He actually grew up. His mother was a
That's an
prostitute.
example because you have some men who go through that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a guy
His grandmother
he spoke about.
was the head.
And he's a diehard Christian. Matter of fact, he spoke how he disliked whoredom. He does not like any form of whoredom whatsoever. Come to find out that he was living in a whorehouse with his mama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, having to do homework, listen to his mama getting banged and everything like that. He hates it. And you know what I'm saying? It really, and one thing the dude tries to do for his ministries, for women, he tries to tell those women that you can do more than just sell your body. You know what I'm saying? He taught his daughters that. Why sell your body and be an object when you can be a person or an individual? You see what I'm saying? I mean,
I
that's what
stand by.
made him be
I mean,
more of it made him be an inspiration against women selling themselves, right? So we can't just, that was a good example about Mika. We can't, in a lot of ways, put that down. You see what I'm saying? And say that was a bad example because this is something that men go through.
it is
Exactly.
something that men go through, but that's not. That's
This is a
not
real.
a.
Wait a minute. Let me pause you. This is a real life situation that a black man experienced from a mother that went into a certain area in life, and most black men, especially,
Not
wait
a
a minute.
mother that went into a certain area. His grandmother ran the whole house.
I
It's an
know
extreme
that.
example. It's an
No, it's not.
extreme example. I'm not denying that those. Listen, I'm not denying that there are black men out there that have been in bad situations, that have been taken advantage by women and have been molested. I'm not taking that away, and the trauma that has going on with them. I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying that that does not exist. What I am saying specifically is about how you trying to play Richard Pryor and how you
I'm
trying
not
to
trying to
show him
play
in that
him.
lit because Richard Pryor is the comedian. He is not only playing a role, he is also throwing his life in there because he uses that. His comedy was his way out, not drugs. Drugs was, and again, you talking about cocaine in the 60s and the 70s. That was nothing back then. Cocaine didn't get cool until you in the 80s. So
I mean,
you're talking about a different kind of you're talking about a different kind of thing. You're talking about a.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
sir. I don't know. Where do you stay at again? Where do you stay?
Where do
Like
I stay?
which state?
I live in New York.
Okay. Okay. I'm in LA.
I mean,
I
brother,
know.
this is what you gotta understand, right? This is what I'm saying right here, right? It's reality. You see what I'm saying? He had
Yeah,
to
it is.
overcome. He didn't like. Do you think that boy liked being in that damn whorehouse? Listen to his mama get pounded every day.
He said he did
It made
enjoy
him.
it. He had a good time.
No, he didn't
If we're
enjoy it.
taking, if we're
No young black man,
wait a minute. If we're
no
taking that
child,
video at verbatim for
no
word, he
child.
said out
Hold
his
on, Chief.
mouth that
No
he
child
enjoyed
would
it.
enjoy seeing a mom get done. It
He
messes
didn't.
with them.
Again, he didn't watch it, but he
No, he
said out his
heard it
own
and he
mouth.
heard of it.
No, you saying
But what
now? See, you're speculating right now. You heard out
I'm
his
not
own mouth.
speculating,
You
bro. It's
you
just like
heard out his
okay, all
own
right, hold
mouth
on,
that he enjoyed it. He said in the video that he enjoyed it. So to
bro.
say that he didn't
The
enjoy it
dude,
is saying that what
bro,
he's not saying the truth.
bro, he's a comedian, right?
Okay,
So
okay. So you're saying
comedians
the
are
same
going
thing.
to
Thank
say,
you. Thank
Hold on,
you.
hold on.
Thank
I'm
you.
not done. I'm
Thank
not
you.
done. I'm not
Oh,
done.
wait a
You gotta
minute.
let me
So wait a
speak.
minute. You want to be at the
You
buffet
gotta let
table
me
and
speak.
choose
Wait,
what you
hold on,
like and
All right,
what
I'm
you
gonna
don't
let you
like?
go. I'm
wait,
gonna let you
wait a
go.
minute. Hold
I'm gonna
on.
let you go.
Let's get some order because we're not gonna overtalk each other.
Hold
We're
on.
not gonna do that, but we're gonna say
Let,
this, right? We're gonna say this.
let me
There
say
are
this.
people, whether they're celebrity or not, that have real life experiences. And
True.
what he's talking about, let me finish. What he's talking about is a real life experience. Okay.
True.
Okay. So it's very pertinent to my podcast because he experienced being, he might have said it. He might have said it felt good. A
He
lot
might
of
have.
a lot of men enjoyed being taken by older women because they were taught to do that.
But see, Mika, check it. Listen to me. I'm talking about this boy's mother. He didn't enjoy that. And I'm speaking from people who know individuals who live in that type of environment before. They don't know. They don't enjoy that shit. I gave the
No,
story of the man, of the grown man that is a diehard Christian that tell women they don't have to sell themselves like that. And that's one of the driving, burning passions of his inspiration. They don't like that stuff. I mean, I know he's a comedian, but one thing people got to understand about comedians, right? They'll say certain things, but don't mean it. They just want it to be
for a
funny at the end
joke.
of the day. That's
Yeah,
Correct.
what I'm trying to let brother
it was a
understand.
punchline. It was
But
True.
the
definitely
thing
a
is,
punchline.
the dude did not enjoy being in that whorehouse. He did not.
Mm, right. And so that's just one aspect of it. And I'm sorry that you may and there's people that I know that like female and male alike that have not experienced sexual abuse. And they're blessed if they did it. They're blessed if they did it. But it's a lot of men that, like I said, they've been taught, they've been brainwashed into
They've been
thinking.
groomed. They've been groomed.
They've been groomed, brainwashed, taught into thinking that this is okay. And it's not okay. Just it's like this. And I was gonna start this thing about the history and then bring it because this is called post-traumatic slave disorder. But I was gonna go
Oh,
back
damn,
into
that's
the
how you're gonna bring
history.
buck breaking in.
Huh?
I said, that's how you're gonna slide buck breaking in.
I
Holy
wasn't
cow!
just I wasn't no, that was not how I was gonna bring buck breaking in. I was gonna talk about the white female slave owner who forced her male stallion, or what did they call it? Her black bull. I was gonna talk about that and then go
Oh,
into buck breaking. But
uh,
it's so
are
like
you
I said,
gonna also talk about those same bucks being used to be the siren in the stronger black buck to get out into the field? I mean, that was happening too. It wasn't just
wait,
the
say
white.
what again?
You
What
talk
did you
about
say?
slavery stuff. You trying to say about the white woman taking advantage, right? But there was also the slave master using the strong buck with the black slaves to get the stronger slave out into the field. He would use that with the women too. It's
Okay,
greedy.
but we're not talking about the women. We've talked about women for decades. We're not
Well,
talking about the women no
well,
more. We're talking about just the experiences that the men had, like the
being
coercion,
taken advantage by women,
huh?
being taken advantage of by women. That's what you're
Yes,
talking about.
and
Right.
yes, a lot of men have been taken advantage by women.
I
It
get
goes.
it.
It's a lot of aspects. Like I said, it's layers of this shit. It's
Hmm.
women who use their sexuality, women who use their mysticism. They put makeup on, they get their body done, they do all this stuff, and then when a man try to approach them, it's sexual harassment. Oh, he tried to rape me, or he did this.
Well,
It's no, it's not. It does nothing for the culture in the whole. I'm talking about white, blacks, Asians, and Latinos, all the way around.
there are
Because
definitely some
you
women
try to
out there
wait a
taking
minute.
advantage.
Women be trying to seduce men, but
Not
when it's not
some,
the
it's a
right
lot.
man, when it's not the right man, and if you don't know, you got to get Ellen Green's book, The Law of Seduction, because women use seduction. And if it's not the right man or whatever, then now it's sexual harassment. But why you got this shit on? Why you dressing half naked? Why you over there spreading your ass cheeks? But then you don't want this attention. You see
But
what I'm saying?
don't men have some kind of accountability at dealing with those women? Like, I mean, from what I've seen, especially I'm going to definitely assume
Yes,
in
they
this
have an
age bracket,
accountability. Not
you got
yes,
to vet
wait
these
a minute.
women.
Yes, to answer your question, because I don't do questions. If you say one question, I'm going to answer it. Yes, a man has accountability, not to force his will on a woman, but he can shoot his shot. But I've seen women get mad at a man shooting his shot.
And so the man doesn't have to deal with that woman, right?
No, I've seen men. Man, I ain't gonna tell the story, but I know somebody that literally filed a sexual harassment case on a man that literally emailed her to tell her that he liked her or whatever, and she felt like he was stalking her, and she reported him as sexual harassment. And he
Yeah,
only
that's a
sent one
woman
email.
taking advantage of the law. Yeah, that is
He
crazy.
only sent one email, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
say nothing bad. He didn't say nothing about her. He didn't say nothing vulgar. All he said was, "I thought you were beautiful, and I like the way you move around." You know what I'm saying? I'm just
I heard
paraphrasing.
that it is terrible. I hear it's terrible with men trying to shoot their shot to women. It is a dangerous, dangerous world out there. I hear that all the time, and I understand that it is, because there are women out there that take advantage of the law, take advantage of these. I mean, but if the stage isn't set, there's so many layers of this crap. It's
Uh,
women that are taking advantage of the law to use to their advantage. It's like makeup to them. It's just another accessory that women use to take advantage of men. But at the same time, are we? Man, you talking about, man? That's harsh. If it's just an email, how are you supposed to interact with females? That
Can
is
I? Can
crazy.
I? Can I? Can
exactly.
I?
That's my
Let me hold
point.
on
That
right
is
quick.
my point, brother. Sorry,
Hold on
Craig.
right quick,
Sorry,
Mika.
classic. Hold on. That's my point. Since the Me Too movement, it's been messed up for both parties. It's been messed up for a man to shoot his shot. It's been messed up for a woman to find her king because they don't know what to do. Now, men, they're taking the back route. They going on dating sites because that's easier because they can't approach you in public and say, "Oh, I think you're beautiful." Some women would say, "Oh, he think I'm beautiful, and then it's sexual harassment. So I'm talking about those type of things, and then not to mention the older women that it's like I said, it's so many aspects to this thing. Go ahead, Craig. I gotta answer my door. Go ahead.
Listen, I have to say this, right? Okay, and a lot of so it's Clinton, right? I know you're a bit older. Do you have any sons, bro?
I have two boys.
You said what?
I have two boys.
You have two boys. Do they ever talk to you
23,
about women?
23 and 18.
Do
Well,
they talk to you about women?
they talk to myself and their mother about women.
Okay,
And I
so
don't,
what are the things that they say?
well, if you asking how I taught them to move through the world
I'm not
is,
asking how would you talk them. I'm saying what do they say about women in general?
well, they both have girlfriends, so they're
Right. I'm
happy,
saying, but
I
what do
guess.
they say about women in general? I know. Okay, they have girlfriends. I'm not asking what you taught, right?
Right,
But what
right.
do they say about women in general?
Well, I mean, what they talk about now is happiness. They're happy right now, but they have girlfriends, so they're 23 and 18.
So their girlfriend never pissed them off. They're just
Of
perfect with their.
course. Again, of course. I
Okay.
told you before, women are insane. They're gonna piss men off. That's pretty
Okay.
much their
Okay.
job.
So
That's what
what
they
do
do.
they say? What do they say when their girl pissed them off?
Mhm. What we all
What do
say.
they talk about? No, I'm just not. Okay. I see. I
I
see
mean,
what you're saying.
I'm not really I don't know what you want me to say. They say what we all
I'm
say,
trying
man.
to get
Forget
you to
that chick. She make me mad.
I'm trying to get you to articulate a little bit about the situation, right?
What situation? What do you
about
want to hear? My
between.
boy. Okay.
Listen to me, Chief.
I'm
And it ain't no battle. I'm not trying to fight you, but this is what I'm saying, right? I'm trying to get you to articulate a little bit about their relationship, right? Because I'm trying to make a comparison. You see what I'm saying? Now, your boys are 23, they're in their 20s, right? And they're happy, right? Now, it's either one or two things when it comes down to dating in 2023 into this day and time, right? You have women that either love you and women that use you. You see what I'm saying? You have those women who give a whole damn about you, and women who don't. And some guys, because they look and model after their parents, they can't tell the difference. And when reality hits them hard, they're unable to adapt and to cope with what happened. And they're questioning what the hell happened. I saw dad do this with mom, and mom do this with dad, and I did this with her, and this is what I was taught, but this did not work. Why?
Oh well,
I
see,
treated
I
her with
don't have
respect.
that they don't have that experience, and I don't have that experience. My father has that experience. My
Okay.
his grandfather grew up in the same house as his mother and father. My son grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a broken home. So he already knew that there are differences and arguments that overcome love and affection and finance and all of that stuff. Sometimes things don't work out. If that's the question you're asking me, yes. They ask well, that's why you and mom aren't together. That's the phrase that it is. It's not why, it's they understand. It's not
Okay.
really a question of why aren't why can't this woman love me the way that I saw so and so on TV, or I saw so and so over here, or this friend over here, this cousin. They already knew through their life experience that sometimes people who say that they love each other don't stay together.
Okay. So check this out, right? You saying your boys knew that. Well,
Well, they realize
let's
that.
get
I
to,
don't.
let's get to this right here, right? Now, they had the capability of understanding that, right? A lot of men, especially young men that are raised traditional, don't get that. You're, a lot of men try to be traditional with modern women, and a lot of times that doesn't work, right? And this is why there's such a problem. This is why there's trauma. This is why a lot of men somewhat evolve and adapt in a somewhat of a negative way when it comes
See, this
down
is
to
what I was
women,
trying.
right?
But this is what I was trying to say before, is that I'm really I'm really shooting at this from from the future, right? When I'm talking about stuff, it's probably things that you haven't experienced yet, your friends around you haven't experienced yet, because we in different time zones or
We are in
age
different
brackets.
time zones.
Not we in different age brackets, right?
We are,
So
we are.
when I say stuff, it's not that you're wrong, it's that things change. You know, things change in time. And I mean, look, a perfect example, how things change. My mother divorced my father after 23 years, ran around and came back to my father and married him again, and they doing their thing again. The life is crazy, right?
This is my thing.
A lot of things can happen
This is my thing, right?
in life,
This is my thing right
especially
here, right?
especially between men and women. I mean, man.
This is my thing right here, right? Listen, yes, we are. You're older than me. I respect that. You know, I'm not trying to throw a rock at you. But what I'm trying to get you to see is number one, right? In your age and time, you can't do things in this age and time now. You see what I'm saying? Like
Well,
a friend of mine basically said, hold on, because I know that you say where's the accountability when it comes down to some of these guys, right? Now, friends of mine who would hear that, they'll get upset. Like, what the hell you mean accountability? For what? I was the one that was hurt. So you're telling me I should be responsible for what this bitch did to me
oh no, the
after I
accountability,
treated her, after I
right? The
helped her?
exactly. The accountability
And,
starts
and
long
see,
before that. Long
and
before that.
hold up,
It starts at the
hold up,
first
hold up.
date.
hold up, stop. And a lot of people, they don't even do dates like that. They do hookup cultures. It's a hookup culture. You see what I'm
Right. See,
saying?
I
The
can't
date,
even.
it's not even really. Well, people do go on dates, but it's not like how it used to be. Because back in
I
the
mean,
day,
dating could be
people
smoking a blunt or.
dated. It's not a could be. Dating back in the day, it was dating to marry, right? Until it started to get a little bit more
I
freaky-ish
ain't
and a
that
little bit
old
more.
now. Daggone, man. I'm
Look,
not
I'm
that
just
old.
saying.
Oh God. Yikes.
But I'm just
I mean,
saying
I know
nowadays.
hookup culture is it's still hookup culture is even less responsibility because it's just that it's hookup culture.
But see, this is
You
what I'm saying,
almost
though.
don't even know my name. That's how we used to
But this is
roll in my day. You lucky to
actually,
get my real name if it's a hookup.
actually, this is what I'm trying to tell you, Chief. You see what I'm saying? And this is what Mika was saying, and this is what some other guys say too. Like
Come here.
goddamn, I'm going on a date with this girl. Case in point, there was a guy. He went out with this girl. He said, "Yo, it's my first date with this girl. I'm kind of nervous, right?" And what the girl did, she said, "I'm using this nigga just to get me something to eat." Diner Dash. You see what I'm saying? That's the consequences of a little bit of hookup culture, right?
I
Now,
understand. I
here's the
understand that,
thing,
but
right?
go ahead.
That girl somewhat showed interest that she liked that guy, and she did not. And he did what most men do when they like a woman and take them out. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only to
But
get played and left hanging.
okay, so the vetting system and the accountability is all right. I'm going to start vetting this chick because I know these women exist, right? So accountability starts with I met a woman. I don't know her. I can't trust her. So let me
But
ask
see,
her, where does she want to go out to eat? If she's talking about going to some fancy restaurant on the first date, I already know what time it is. I don't roll like that. I've taught my
hold
boy.
on, hold on.
I speak
I
to my
wish it was
boys like
kind
that.
of like that. I wish it was kind of like that. But
No, no,
bro,
no, no. It is things haven't changed because accountability of the
Here's
men.
the
The
problem. Here's the
men
problem
have the
with the
accountability.
accountability argument, right? Here's the problem, right?
let me get with
Wait a
the
minute,
hold up,
Craig.
Mika.
Hold on.
I got something I'm doing. Chief, check this out, right? The dude that took that girl out, right? That girl just wanted free eats. Okay? She just wanted free eats from the dude. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he did not understand that or see that. She alluded to him like, yeah, I like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, the guy went for it at the end of the day.
Right, but we're still talking about where are we gonna go eat? Do you want to go to?
You gotta
Jack in the Crack,
understand.
or do you want to go to?
Let me see. Not every dude is you, Chief. See, that's what you're
I
doing.
no, it's not
Let me
it's not my
let me
choices. It's being a man. That's the accountability I'm saying. The
being a man.
accountability of being a man is choosing your mate. Are you willing? If you're willing to take this woman into an expensive restaurant and spend $100 on the meal, that is what you have
Let me
to
finish, Chief.
decide on doing. If you do that, that's what it is. Especially if you don't talk to her and say, "Hey,
Oh my
what's going
God.
on? Are we
Wait a
gonna?"
minute. Let me pause you real quick, both of you guys, real quick, because you're talking about this accountability thing. Hold on, Craig. Let me just help you out a little bit.
Hey, bro.
I want to show another video real quick because I already showed the D. Ray Davis and the Richard Pryor, and I did want to get this other video out to expound on your accountability claims. So just give me a second here to show this, and then give me my spiel, and then y'all can go from there. So let me this is on YouTube, and I just want to show this. This is for educational purposes. I'm just showing this little clip.
Twist, what you laughing at, man? How you get that? You get that? You understood that? You sucking on clips over that fight? You can't want that motherfucker. That nigga. Oh, you at 12? 15. Yeah, huh? Oh my God. You bet I'm on the real. Cause I was fucking at 11. I had Nate at 15, nigga. I had my daughter when I was 15, nigga. It ain't cause you a male, it ain't cause you 15, you supposed to, cause you're young money. You're supposed to. Fuck that shit, man. I stuff. I got raped when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges. I'm gonna do you like baby them did me. Yeah. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. There was about this many niggas and shit too in that bit. I never forget the word. Suck la wine la dick. I'm sitting on the couch.
Okay. So, where does an 11-year-old hold accountability?
The accountability is with the men. An 11-year-old is not a man. The accountability stands with the men. The men who took advantage of Lil Wayne. And that's Birdman. And then you want to talk about accountability. Where's the accountability? Who puts these cats to be famous? Who puts money in their pockets? Who buys their records or their albums or their CDs or whatever y'all stream, however they make money nowadays? Who does that? Who makes that culture popular? You want to talk about accountability, but
I'm not talking about the culture going on.
Oh no, no. I'm talking about all of it. Black men, these men, that man. I mean, look at Lil Wayne. He is the man in that room with these little boys saying, I mean, accountability. Where is the accountability? If you could show me accountability, then I could roll down the road with you. But there's no accountability. There's no men in that room or in this clip. What in the accountability?
Okay. So you think that D-Ray Davis should hold some accountability for the 30-year-old woman pressing herself on him at 11?
Well, okay, so I know D-Ray.
The woman that's Wayne dick, she don't got no accountability.
That wasn't a woman that sucked Lil Wayne's dick.
Yes,
that wasn't a woman. No,
yes, it was. I saw the full interview. Birdman ordered him a prostitute to suck Lil Wayne's dick. And it was a full-grown woman. So,
I'm gonna say that that Hollywood and the music industry is absolutely weird and absolutely a different world than regular human interaction.
Apples and oranges. Ain't nobody talking about Hollywood. You're
talking about Lil Wayne in the music industry. That's what I said. I said the music industry in Hollywood is the same.
First of all, I'm using notarized people as an example, and then I still have a whole nother spiel to go through my comments because this is not just in Hollywood. This is not just a phenomenon that happens in Hollywood.
I know, I get that too, but Hollywood is something different. Hollywood in the music
about boys, little boys, and grown men and females, grown ass women going towards.
Yeah, that's not what's being shown here. What you asked me about in this clip was accountability, and I showed you that there's no accountability. Now, if you want to talk about grown men being taking advantage of women these little boys, Birdman took advantage of Wayne and all of, what do they call them, the hot boys?
Okay.
All of them.
All right, look at this, Chief. Check this out. Who said
just like the Pussycat Dolls were used?
Who said that they got raped at 11 on this clip?
Lil Wayne.
Okay. Now, this is what Mika's talking about. Mika is saying at the end of the day, right, a lot of these young black men and pretty much men in little boys in general, you see what I'm saying, go through this same type of treatment, and it's not a issue, and it affects them when they get older. I stated this before. You see what I'm saying?
It is obviously an issue. It's obviously an issue.
You can't take accountability when you're a victim. You're not.
Wait a minute.
Perpetrating this thing. They're victims.
That doesn't make it correct. You take accountability. Okay, wait a minute. What you're watching. This clip is very interesting because it shows you 3 generations or 2 generations of this or two iterations of the sexual abuse. Birdman took advantage of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is sitting in a room with a bunch of these dudes talking about how he's going to take advantage of them. I mean, there has to be accountability for this to
You're
stop.
getting off subject. What you're doing is you're looking more at Lil Wayne
No,
being
I'm talking
in
about
your
the
mind.
accountability that needs to be held.
Hold on. You're looking more at Lil Wayne instead of looking at what happened to him as a boy.
Yikes!
Before he was.
Oh, you. Oh, yikes! Oh, you. Oof.
See, you're
It's
not
not.
paying, and
It's
that's another
I'm
thing.
it's
sorry.
not about the
Let me
name.
get,
It's not
hold
about the
on, bro.
name. It's about the whole situation. You could take away the names. The whole situation itself is the said
Okay, so
father or the mentor took advantage of the child, and now that child is sitting in a room of some more young children talking about how he is going to take advantage of them, like it was done to him. There needs to be an accountability issue. There needs to be an accountability conversation to get that cycle to stop. That's what I'm
But
saying.
don't you? But don't you? Check this out though. See what you just did. You bypassed that, not caring for what happened to Lil Wayne when he was a child, and that happens a lot with men. That happens a lot to them. You know what I mean? Not with men, with boys. That happen to them, and they get desensitized for certain things. Right? Let's just say he's gonna repeat the pattern over and over. Right? But what you just did is why some men have this attitude today about accountability. Why should I be accountable when I'm a victim? I need to make you a victim too. No one heard my story. Nobody gave a fuck about my story, and they're sure not gonna give a fuck about yours. You see what I'm saying? You see what happened at the end of the day? If I came to you and I was like, yo, Clint, let's just say if it was you and me sitting in that room. All right. I was like, yo, Clint, shit, man. Shit, bro. She took advantage of me, bro, when I was 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you.
hello, you check out for a minute. Anyways, let me get to this point right here because I was just gonna drop the link for anybody else that had to chime in. I'll drop the link in the chat box if you guys want to chime in, um, and give your spill on what you think, just to let y'all know. Craig, your mic is going out. Uh, So we don't want to lose focus here because we're mixing apples and oranges. Yes, baby does have accountability, but we don't know what happened to baby. We don't know if he experienced the same thing. You get what I'm saying? And this is where I was going. It's a long line. It's like a domino effect, right? It's a domino effect where one person was taught this and they keep teaching this amongst generations. Okay, yes, there should be some accountability. This is why I made this podcast so we can stop with it. But also, the main focus here is that there's a correlation between the three videos that I had showed so far. And the correlation is that these three men were, and two of them said they liked it, one of them said they didn't like it. But these three men experienced having their first sexual experience at the very young age with older women. That's the main focus here. There's older women out there and they're having sex with young boys, and the young boys are underreported. It's very underreported. So my point is that being assaulted is it goes all around. It's male and females that get sexually assaulted. And I just didn't want to stop at the women sexually assaulting black men, but I did want to talk about the atrocities that black men had to experience amongst history. We done got so far off a topic that it's so hard to come back from it because we're not talking about the celebrity, even though I chose celebrities to paint the picture. That's because most people are familiar with these people. But even them, they have gone through these type of situations. I didn't even get to Tyler Perry being sexually abused. It's a lot of black men that have been sexually abused, and there is a consequence to that. Now, the way, and it's based off the way they internalize it. So, Baby possibly, I don't know Baby's story, but I'm saying possibly experienced the same thing. And so it'll trickle down. And a lot of these men subconsciously are acting out this trauma, but consciously they believe that this is their rite of passage. They believe that this is the thing to do. They don't even realize that they've been molested, that they've been sexually abused. And then now, when they become grown, they're over sexual. They want to hit it and quit it. Lil Wayne got about 1,000 kids. You know what I'm saying? Richard Pryor started experimenting with drugs and also started experimenting.
That's not true.
No, Richard Pryor did experiment with drugs.
He wasn't experimenting with drugs as a way to cope. He was he loved drugs. He was using.
Listen to Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor has experimented with drugs. First of all,
Yes, he was a drug addict. He wasn't experimenting with drugs. He loved drugs.
He was 11.
He loved drugs. He was smoking weed at 11. He was smoking weed at 11. He was smoking weed at 11.
People experiment with drugs as a way to cope with life, as a way to cope with trauma.
His comedy was his coping mechanism, is what I'm saying.
His comedy was two things could exist at one time. He could use his comedy as an outlet, and he could use drugs as an outlet. So let's not go there. And then
what I was saying was he was a drug addict.
I'm not finished. D. Ray Davis, who now he believes in a polyamorous relationship, and so. And I'm not even finna get in because I'm gonna have to probably, I don't know, maybe later, because I'm really have to.
That's a bad thing? Polyamory is a bad thing? Man.
What?
I said polyamory is a bad thing?
It depends on the person. But because of his experience, you know, now this is what is happening. And like I said, everything has
your correlation is because they've been sexually abused at a young age. They're now overly sexualized.
Not overly sexualized, because because women, we're not sexualizing them, but they have a hypersexual dynamic within themselves. And then also, and I didn't even get to and we've been in 2 hours and we're doing all this back and forth about BS. I'm trying to get into the meat and potatoes of this stuff because I didn't even scratch.
You're supposed to lead us in. I was just having conversation. I apologize. I was just
whatever the case may be. I'm still pulling it out and getting to my points, right?
Yeah, you gotta pull the reins of this thing. Direct us where you want us to go.
Cutting me off, then I can get to where I'm going.
Okay, my bad.
Jesus, right. Now I know I'm a little long-winded, but I don't talk as fast as you want me to, and I'm just trying to make my complete thoughts. But it's
do your thing. My bad.
It gets missed. It gets missed because I can't complete the thoughts here. So let me complete my thoughts. Let me get to the meat and potatoes because I just didn't want to just talk about the rites of passage because it's so much, like I said, to peel back. And black men have been sexually assaulted by other men, and they have been sexually assaulted by women, and then they have also been manipulated. And I'm still trying to find this other word so I can give you a good idea of what I'm talking about. But they've been manipulated sexually by women. Women come in and they got the pretty face, pretty eyes just to get the bag. And then men think this is real true love. So it goes both ways is my point. and so I just wanted to give men a platform to talk about the experiences that they had as far as with women, as far as being deceived. I know so many men. It's like a lot of things that I want to talk about. Men that have to deal with women that say this is their baby, and then 20 years down the line they find out it ain't their baby. I've heard stories about men that supposedly had 3 kids, 4 kids by a woman, and none of the kids is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a huge deception. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that men don't deceive. My focus is on, I'm not saying men don't do the deception, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying my focus is on the deception that women do to men, and why men in return retaliate. And this is a never ending cycle, and we got to get out of it. We
Mm-hmm.
have to stop this. You get what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
And I'll let you have the floor while I go and pull up my other
Here
sources.
you go again. And then we go get yelled at for talking too much and being off topic.
No, you talking about because it's Hollywood, because it's Richard Pryor. No,
Well, no,
because he
that's
was
true. Wait.
sexually assaulted as a young kid. He had a baby with a 30-year-old woman at 14. You don't see nothing wrong with that?
It's not that I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm saying specifically about Richard Pryor. He was in a very extreme circumstance where sex wasn't even, it was a business transaction. It wasn't as normal people think about sex. And when it comes to Hollywood and the music industry, once you start getting into a certain level of that world, there are things that you are asked of and things that you are expected to do if you want to make the bag. And so some people do those things and some people don't do those things, and they pay the consequence for that. And that's it's just accountability for what it is. Accountability. Do you want to make the bag? You'll do this. If you don't want the bag, you'll keep it pushing and you'll try and make money some other way. So that's why I was saying the music industry and Hollywood and Richard Pryor himself, those are really different beasts
But they still
of
have the
the
same
things that you talk about.
struggles.
Correct.
They still,
Yes, they do have the same struggles. They have
but
yes, I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying
but that
that,
that was her point. You see, you're making it like they're just these deities and gods and all this stuff because they got money and people like them and stuff like that. The point
well,
was, at the end of the
that's
day,
why the
right?
people chase, that's why the people
That,
submit and give up
not
their
not not
accountability for.
not really. At the end of the day, right? What she was trying to say, that yo, these people went through pain and heartache, and that's what she was focused on. Just like a lot of regular people. You see what I'm saying? And that's what the point was.
Well,
You
I
know what I'm
wasn't
saying?
Okay. So if I was I didn't mean to be misspeak.
You good,
I'm
Cliff.
not
I mean, I
discounting.
like the
I'm not
adversity.
discounting. I'm not discounting their trauma, but I'm also saying that again, these aren't children, so these are grown adults making
Of
decisions. So
course,
there's a whole there's a
they
whole nother conversation about that. But
of
when we're
course,
talking
but they're
about
talking
women
about
taking advantage
things.
of children, then I'm totally with y'all. I'm totally with y'all about that, and I'm even with y'all with the trauma that comes along with people making decisions that they don't fully understand are not wholesome for their being. But at the end of the day, we all have to make decisions for what they want. And in the music industry and in Hollywood, those decisions are
Okay, so because I have a son and I have 2 daughters and a son, right? And people always say, Mika, you always getting personal. Well, yes, because this is my experience, right? I talk about my knowledge is my experience, my walk in life is my experience. And when my son was very young, he was only 6 years old. I had grown women talking to me about,
girl, tell me about it. I know. I'm with you. I had to
okay,
beat them off with a stick.
right.
I
And
get you.
so
I'm with you. I'm
And
with you.
so my son, he disclosed a lot of things to me that I never spoke about, right? Because I have to maintain that, him to be able to come to me, right? And he's expressed to me, and I'm not gonna say no names or who he told me, but he has expressed to me growing up as a child, women coming, grown women, and even some his age grabbing on him inappropriately, grabbing on his buttocks inappropriately, grabbing on his penis inappropriately, right? So now those same people, or some of those people, I ain't gonna say the same people, but now because he has a sexual nature, because he thought that was okay, because when he told me about it, it was already past, but I tried to talk to him about it as a woman. I can never put anything into him as a man because I'm a woman. So I just like, okay, just keep your distance. However, now when he goes after grown women, not children, but when he goes after grown women or try to engage them, now he's looked at as a predator, right? But these same women probably, I'm saying probably, are I'm not gonna say the same women, but same situation. These same women used to be flirt with him when he was a child. Oh, Andrew, you so fine. I should have said my son's name. I'm so sorry.
You gonna be mad at me for this, and I apologize. I mean no disrespect, but the same for men goes for women in this situation. Accountability for teaching your son what to look for and what to stay away from.
Right.
It's not up to your child to know what's good and what's bad, or to even be alone with those sort of people. And unless we're talking about a teacher or a babysitter, I mean, it falls on the parent to allow these things
right. But when
to
you're
happen.
I understand it falls on the
You're
parent.
gonna start
Let me
telling me
tell you,
excuses, and I'm not
it's
trying
no
to blame.
excuse.
I'm not
It's no
blaming. I'm
excuse.
just
It definitely falls on the parent. However, there are situations where, like, you could be standing next to your kid, and that grown ass woman standing next to your kid, and y'all standing together.
nah.
But your focus,
Let
no.
me
It is a yes. Your focus is not literally looking at your kid and looking at the woman, and she doing like
Always,
a pinch on his
always
ass
looking
while
at
you
my,
right there.
especially at that age, they're always
let
looking at my children.
me help you guys with this, right? You do know a lot of pedophilia cases happens with close friends of the family or
They
family
sure
members,
do. They
correct?
absolutely do.
Okay,
They absolutely
okay,
do.
so
But you know what? It's
okay,
also known
hold
in
on,
that family who that person is.
stop. No, it's not. Stop. No, it's not. No, it's not. They don't know
Yes.
until that acts happen. All right. I'm not talking about those idiots who know that Uncle Freddie like messing with little girls. No, I'm talking about before the act, right? And this is I wanted to talk with Mika about this too, right? But you're not going to think somebody you would trust would be deviant like that. And I've seen family. Hold up, stop. Man, there you go. Talking about you again. You're talking about
Yes,
you.
because we all use it. We're
I
using personal
know
experience.
you're
You're right.
all
We're all
knowing.
using
I know you're
experience. It's not about
I'm
being
not
all
using.
knowing. It's not
I'm
about
not
that.
using
It's
personal
more or less.
experience.
It's more or
What
less
I'm
all
doing.
about knowing
Clint,
about the world. There's evilness out in the world.
Clint. I know you
Clifton,
like interrupting,
Clifton. It's
but
not.
you
It's
got to
not really about
understand.
that. It's really just about
Listen, bro.
understanding that
I
there's
know you
evil in the
like
world.
interrupting. I know you like interrupting, but it doesn't work that way. I mean, like,
I
I
apologize. Go ahead.
understand what you're doing, but the point is, brother, at the end of the day, right? The reason why there's outrage and just complete like anger is because they did not know these things. They did not know that they would do this to a child. That's why they scream, I trusted you. I was here with you. And why would you do this to my child? And I view you as a sister or a brother. I mean, like, come on, man. These people didn't know. If they,
I
bro,
got you. I agree.
you think people
Again, you're
leave their
going to an
kids with
extreme.
pedophiles? It's an
No,
extreme because this is reality.
no.
Life
Look,
is
you
extreme.
You know Michael Jackson, right? You know who Michael Jackson is? He was accused of being a pedophile, but parents still brought their children to see him. Is that Michael Jackson's fault, or is it the parents' fault? I mean, it's Michael Jackson's fault too, but if he's guilty, but it's the parents' fault. Is what I'm saying. I'm not
We're
talking about the
talking
trauma.
about
I
we're not
understand the
talking
trauma.
about Never Land. We're not doing that. We're talking about real life people in real situations.
Yes,
We're
they
not talking
exist.
about
I agree with
celebrities.
you.
We're not talking about celebrities. But what we are talking about, Mika brought up something with her son. Okay,
Right.
Mika was around people that she trusted. I'm surely she trusted them, and she would never ever in a million years
believe that they would do something so evil towards her child, because she wouldn't do that to their child.
Well, I
Exactly.
think
Let
she
me
was just
think
talking
about
about. I thought she was just talking about, a random woman trying to take advantage,
No, this
auntie, or just pinching.
no, not
But
random
even still,
people.
even still, I'm not discounting that experience at all. I agree with you. Those things are out there. I agree with you wholehearted, both of you. I agree with you. I'm not saying those things don't exist. I'm
Okay.
saying those things do exist.
Mm.
I'm saying that when we're talking about personal experiences, when you have children, your primary responsibility is to protect that child. And for me, my child, even when we were standing at the bus stop, wasn't next to man or woman that was unfamiliar. And when it came to aunts and uncles, they didn't see aunts and uncles unless I was there. That whole spending the night
But
thing, that wasn't
these
a thing
things
for
are
me.
happening while I'm there, and it's like you have I don't know how often you're around your children or whatever, but I am a 24/7, 7 days a week, every single day mother. Every single day. My children are not out my sight. And if they veer off for a second, I'm looking for them. So I'm saying that to say these are moments in time that can transform people's lives.
Let me also say that I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not saying that either. There are
No,
evil
I
people
take
out there
full
that'll take every
accountability.
moment,
I
every
take full
second. There are evil
accountability
people
for
out there that do
anything
it right in front of you.
that I experienced.
I'm not trying to say that you did anything wrong. I'm saying that I understand that there are people out there that will do anything. I mean, I had gym teachers that did that sort of stuff. I know of those things happening. I get it. I'm with you with it. I'm with you.
Well, let
I'm
me
with
just
y'all.
redirect y'all for a second to a couple of questions that I had on Facebook and the responses that I got. I'm not going to reveal any names, but I'm going to give you the questions and the answers. So, and you guys got to bear with me. You can respond to each comment or whatever, because I'm gonna have to switch between pages and groups and stuff. So I'm just trying to give y'all the full meat and potato on that. I didn't even get to my history part of this situation, but let me just get here. So the question was, fellas, have you ever experienced sexual harassment or sexual abuse? Right? So my first, well, I'm gonna say first. Let me get to all comments first because Facebook. So one person said, "Yeah, grown women used to let me feel on them when I was like 12. They was like 31, 32 years old." Okay. Someone else said, "I have experienced sexual harassment. I would need more information to be able to accurately define abuse." Right. So, and then another man, these are our men. Another man said, yes, both. And then his story was, I asked him what his story was. He said the harassment was at work and I ended up quitting because she kept ish up. And since the supervisor was her friend, female, she wasn't getting any consequences from it. I'm very apprehensive to women co-workers now and don't allow work bonds, which does prevent promotions at work. But I'm a single parent and I am going to jail for no woman, especially one I'm not attracted to. The
Very
abuse
wise.
in front
Very
of
wise.
if the abuse came in front of alcohol induced rape, in which I was 17 years old, and one so he had alcohol induced rape. And then he said, and when he was 19 and or 20 something years old, females had their way with him while passed out. He said he haven't got drunk again since. Barely ever drink. Very hesitant and untrusting to drink. And then another man said he had a stalker at the job back in 2009. Uh, he said it was something out of the movie. She ended up getting fired. Okay, cool. And then another person said, yes, as an adult, at an adult party, and I am still having PTSD, right? He said, I was not attracted to her and she was trying to force herself on me. And I was like, hell nah. And another woman had to come save me before I knocked her out. And then another person said all the time. And when it's not accepted, they are quick to try and question my sexuality because I'm apparently gay for not wanting to be touched without my consent. Being, I'm not going to read the rest. But so I'm saying that to say that men go through these things.
All the time. All the time.
Right. So this is what the
But you
cast
can't.
is
But
about.
see,
Go ahead, Craig.
then they go through these things, right? And a lot of them feel helpless, and a lot of them don't even tell anybody, right? And hey, I gotta give my shout out to those individuals who decide to share that. You see what I'm saying? Because like it's very embarrassing because you have some men, you know what I'm saying, other men that they never experienced any of that. They would pretty much mock them and say maybe you are this side of the fucking spectrum of fruitiness because I wouldn't have ran away from no women, like, you know what I'm saying, they'll say all those type of things, right? But the thing is, these men are not to blame, they're victims. You see what I'm saying? And they're victims of women that feel like they can use them as tools of lust, and a lot of men, just like the one who said he suffered from I guess PTSD, and it started when he was a child and stuff like that. A lot of men go through that and they keep that with them in in their later adult years. There was a guy, right? He got married to this lady, and they were a black couple, and it was really funny, kind of funny. But then when I started to understand the situation, I said, okay, this is not funny. Now the dude got married to this woman, and he did not want to have sex with her at all, and you can tell just by how that man looked and how he was acting and stuff like that, right? He was really meek and timid around that woman, and she was like real aggressive, like, why don't you want to have sex with me? I'm your wife. I deserve this, and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She was just putting him down and stuff like that, and he just continuously looking down. Come to find out, the dude had an outburst and he screamed and he yelled that you never fucking asked. I was molested continuously and brutally by men and women when I lived in an orphanage. And you didn't give a fuck about it. I married you because I thought you loved me, I respected you, but you did not even give a fuck to ask about what's wrong with me. And that was extreme. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It was extreme. It was extreme.
Even when we go back to R. Kelly, and I'm only using this celebrity because people are familiar with him, not because of his celebrity, but he was sexually abused by his older sister at a very young age. And so he was...
That doesn't make it okay.
It does not make it okay. I never said it was okay. He was sexually abused and 9 times out of 10, I want to say 9 times out of 10, but it's really like 40 to 50%.
So what we need to talk about is counseling. Men need to seek counseling. They shouldn't be ashamed of seeking counseling. That's what we need to get into. Need to seek counseling.
But let Mika finish her bill though. What would you say, Mika?
So when it comes to R. Kelly, he was sexually abused by his older sister, and because he was taught that it was a rite of passage to have sex with a female, he believed he was bragging about it, but he was literally sexually abused. Now I'm gonna go further because I was trying to pull some things out of my people, but I just didn't get all the answers I needed. But it was another question I asked. I said, fellas, what's the oldest woman you ever slept with, and what was the age difference, right? So that we have people that dealt with women when they were adults. However, we have a lot of men, right, where let me go to it because I was just looking at this. One guy said he was 16 and the woman was 38. Let me go to all of them because one guy said he was 8 years old. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see all the comments because I got to go through different posts or whatever. Let me go to. So he said, yes. Okay, this is back to have you ever experienced sexual harassment or sexual abuse, right? This is in a different group. Some person said, yes. When I was in 6th grade, 3 grade girls locked me in the house and chased me around. I'm screaming because I wasn't active and nobody ever showed me attention. Once they trapped me, they were trying to take my pants off and I was screaming for help. Not because I was scared of being raped. He said raped instead of the R word, but that they were gonna laugh at my wee wee. This was around the time of Look Who's Talking, and there's a scene in the movie where the kid is getting potty trained and the toilet yells, "Give me my pee pee," and that's what they were yelling at me, "Give me my pee pee." Of course, I got clowned by my older homeboys like this nigga scared of PUSSY, but yes, traumatic things happen to boys as well, I guess. This concludes my TED Talk. Right? Okay. And then we have a female. I didn't even ask her. I hate when people do that. If I'm asking men something, then okay. But if I'm asking female something, okay. But it's a female talking about fake news. Why didn't Talk report it? Lies. So she's saying, so she's disproving what these people are saying because she's a female. You know what I'm saying? So females tend to not look at their sexual behavior. And we got to get this together. Because women, black women, they're at first we was over sexualized, but now they're trying to embrace their over sexualization. And that's crazy to me. So she said fake news, why didn't Talk or report it? Lies. So is that different from black women are not being protected? What about the black men? Black men need protection, right? So a person responds to her. He said, that's why men don't report it. Even though I know you're trying to make a point, that's the reason why men don't report a lot of things. And yes, I had an older supervisor who would come find me when it's time to change Poland Spring bottles. She would stand there watching me, and one time I hear her say, but you know, I don't know about that one. And then she said, well, I guess y'all joined the club. This shit is weird, right?
Let me say this, Nika. Let me say this. That person, in a lot of ways, that said you should have just reported it. Why are you crying, right? That's what a lot of men tend to deal with when they say that, why should I reveal my feelings? And so when you pretty much say, why don't you want to reveal your feelings and how you feel? This is why men do what they do. This is why they close up and don't tell you how the fuck they feel. This is why. Because when they do reveal their feelings, they get attacked, belittled, and begrudgingly called a liar on how they felt, right? Now, if it was you in that situation, I know a lot of people don't like putting themselves in this situation. If it was you in that situation, you would want somebody to hear your pain. But how would you feel if someone come to
Not
you and tell
necessarily
you?
true. Because let me just get you right. You're 100% right. But then at the end, it's because when a person is a victim, they're embarrassed.
They are, but this is what I'm
women
trying to
and
say.
men alike. This is like the reason why it took 20 years for the 20, 30 years for Bill Cosby, 20, 30 years with the R. Kelly situation. Because people don't want to be exposed.
But see, but this is the thing, Nika. This is what I'm saying, and this is why I say with the lady, she need to put herself in that man's shoes. Like, she's a woman, she can walk down the street naked, and people are gonna come help her ass and say, "What's wrong, baby? We'll help you." They won't even sexually harass her ass. You see what I'm saying? A nigga do that, they'll probably shoot his ass before the police come. My point is, right, at the end of the day, right, that man cannot reveal his feelings. And if he does reveal his feelings, he's going to get mocked and laughed at, just like how that woman was laughing at him. What I'm saying, she needs to put herself in that man's shoes.
and like how she's in pain and she wants to express her pain, she would feel offended if someone laughed at her pain. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people
Right,
don't
right.
understand the dynamics, and this is why a lot of men, you know what I'm saying, and I'm a product of that too. I don't believe men should cry because no one is there to wipe our tears. People would laugh and drink our tears, and they'll say you're a liar. You see what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why men are doing what they're doing now. This is why they're changing. This is why they're more doggish. And they say when women say, "Well, there ain't no good men out here. Men are doing this and men are doing that." Well, fuck it. You created this monster that doesn't know how to feel anymore. So think about it before you try to say somebody's a liar about their pain. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to find some more because I didn't get that together. Um I just want to show this because women think it's okay. There's definitely a double standard. It's definitely a double standard. I just want the picture of this. I don't want the video. Let me see if I can find it. But let me go on to my other one because it's still about fellas. Have you ever experienced sexual harassment or sexual abuse? So one guy says, yeah, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, Shreveport, and Sacramento. Women, especially the older ones, ain't shame or quiet about it at all. And he said, he used to get his meat rubbed on, grabbed, etc. in middle school by girls. Um, used to always put up with girls licking their lips at me and telling me how pink and soft and sexy they are. You know, um, talk about how his lips looked and be talking about how good they think I can eat the cat or whatever. He said grown women, older especially, got it bad. Walking up, touching on your chest, rubbing your stomach, etc. He said he even had random girls come up behind him and suck on his neck and to make hickeys. He said that BS was going on in school too. And no, it wasn't just me. I wasn't the only one. And then another person said, when I was 13, my auntie friend was around early mid 40s. Used to grind on me when we had family gatherings. So this is definitely something. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it goes underreported. And so it looks like men are predators, but it's an equilibrium here. It's equal on both sides. And you
Can
even
I?
go ahead, Cliff. You're gonna say something?
I was only going to say, well, never mind. Never mind. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay, this still about this. Have you ever fellas? Have you ever experienced sexual harassment or sexual abuse? And somebody else said, yeah, I work with a whole lot of extremely horn dog old ladies at downtown. I'm not gonna say what city, and I'm not gonna say what clinic. He said, not to mention the fact it was in the same building. Um, and he said my little young self was dealing with all kinds of ratchet. Another person said, yes, crazy story. I'll tell it one day. Because not every man is ready to tell this story.
So are these learning experiences that they are applying to their future, or are these traumatic experiences where they are unable to have relationships moving forward?
Okay. Okay.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this, Chief. Now, it is both, and pretty much depending on the individual, right? Some individuals do get help, but it's still embarrassing talking about it because people are going to snicker, laugh, and make fun of their issues. What happened
Right.
to
So
them?
you shouldn't be talking to your neighbor or your friends or your cousins. You should just be talking to
No, no,
counselors.
no,
That
no,
way that you
no,
feel like you're in a
no,
safe
no,
place to
no,
get the
no,
help that you
no,
need to
no,
overcome
no,
those
no, no,
obstacles.
no, 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 no. Just like that dude that Mika talked about, right? And he explained his situation. And another woman came out and said, that's horrible, lies, you're not telling anything, that's bullshit, right?
Yeah, who cares? That's just one person. Who cares what she says?
But it's a lot of people that think that way. And not
Wait,
only
man,
that,
wait,
right?
wait.
That
There are
person, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
340 million
Man,
people
you
in America.
love interrupting. I
It's
see that
like,
for
go
real.
ahead. My apologies. Go ahead.
Check this out. But to that man, right, that's a sensitive thing. Like, let's just say it like this, right? Okay, everybody's mother died, right? Let's just say a person come up to you and say, everybody mom died. Why are you mad because your mom died? What the heck's wrong with you? I mean, grow a pair, grow up. You're going to get offended and feel a certain type of way. You see what I'm saying?
But
So
that doesn't end my day. That doesn't change the day that my mother died.
it may
I'm
not,
still focused on my mother dying. That person is just one person amongst thousands of people that I have to deal with. Is all I'm saying. I
and
get
what
what you're
I'm
saying.
saying is,
You should not have to deal with that. I get it. You should not have to, but I mean,
the point
sometimes
is,
it's bad.
bro,
Life is bad.
the point is, right? There's no compassion. But that same person that's mocking and scoffing at the end of the day, right, would want
Oh, I agree.
compassion when
Yep, I'm with
they're
you.
suffering. But
Yep,
like how that
yep,
lady did, if that lady went through the same thing that that man
yep.
did,
I'm
she's
with you
going
on
to
that.
scream and
Yep.
yell, hey, this happened to
Hmm.
me. And how dare you make fun of me? I've
Yep.
seen women
Yep.
protect men who were molested at a young age because they were molested, and they got on other women for being selfless, uncaring, and what was the word she said? Uh, um, Treating the whole issue of that man to be superfluous, right? Meaning just to say their experience and what they went through and their pain is nothing compared to them. No compassion, no morals, no any of that. And that's one of the issues that men suffer from when they try to express their pain. And this is why a lot of them will not talk about what the hell's going on with them. And that's one of Mika's points. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So basically, I don't know if I'm gonna have to continue this later because I still didn't get on the history of the atrocities done to me, and I really want to touch on how uh the how we got here, right? Because sometimes you never know where you're going unless you know where you've been, right? And so we gotta break this cycle. However, I'm past the 2 hour mark of what I really want to do. And I just want to just start there and focus on that women can be predators, but if it's underreported because of the nature of the men have been, especially our black men have been assimilated into this oppressive culture, to this pseudo masculine state, to where they say, oh, you can't cry, you can't have emotions, but emotions our intuition to let you know that something is not right or something is right. So if a person feel like something is right, but they're being brainwashed to think that it's okay, then they're just going to go with the happiness part. But I'm going to end this live, and I'm going to give you guys your final thoughts, and then I'm going to move on because like I said, I'm past the 2 hour mark, and I want to end this at this point. So Clifton, what are your final thoughts?
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate your time. Hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you did fine. Okay. Classic Craig, final thoughts?
Um, Cliff, your black ass got to come back here. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to come back, and you are welcome to come back. Also, another thing what needs to be brought up probably in part two is how a lot of women would try to, in a lot of ways, bash a man's masculinity, and they'll try to rob it and take it and pretty much in a lot of ways perverted, making them wish they weren't even a man, you know? And that's a whole nother story right there.
Right.
But
So I want to invite any man that's listening to come back, join in the conversation, give your firsthand experience so that we can get deep down into the meat and potatoes of this, because there's so much layers to unpeel. You know, I didn't even, it was so many things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to. But I thank you guys for joining in. Love y'all. Goodbye.
Show who you are. Good riddance. Is you kidding? Bid the forbidden. As it was written, you overbidding. With the heathens, karma is a bitch, so how you living? Pray for my enemies, unforgiving. Cast the pearls on hog moms and chitlins. If it's too hot, get your ass out the kitchen. Finger licking good, good looking. Stewing in the stew, I'm cooking. You psyched out, paranoid and shookin'. Shook the table, spades I'm booking. Get prepared for this ass whooping. Listen to the words being spoken. You were talking, I'm awake and woken. While I'm spitting this, got your spit, got choking. Era up, a glance in my world, eyes shut open. Parallel in my mind, I'm chosen. Reverse the time, heart frozen. Antarctica, cold as ice. Casting locks, rolling dice. Mean as nails, I'm nothing nice. They persecuted me like they rejected Christ. Hey, show who you are. Good riddance. Is you kidding? Bid the forbidden. As it was written, with the heathens. Casting pearls on hog moms and chitlins. Sloth, love, gluttony, pride, wrath, and envy. Knee on my neck, literally. 7 deadly sins constantly. So now I gotta take this shit personally. I have no respect of personality. If you ain't with me, then you against me. Mother Nature, but I got allergies, allergic to bullshit. It's my pedigree to some degree. But I open vision is 4D, portrait focus panoramic.